Hello, welcome back to another episode of the CounterCast, episode 29. And I know that normally we do a bunch of news coverage, we throw a fit about woke Hollywood, and let's be real, we're all nerds here. That stuff gets tiring, it gets old. We ain't some grifters that just talk about the bad stuff for internet clicks. Sometimes you gotta go full nerd and actually show you appreciate what this hobby means. And to do that, we're gonna talk about gaming in 2023 and all the best and the worst, which I guess there's gonna be a little bit of complaining. But to do that, I need individuals who are far more well-versed in gaming than myself, since I've only recently gotten back into it with the last year. And there is no one better to do that than Cult Classic Cage. Everyone, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Hey guys, Cult Classic Cage, aka Cassie Cage, and I just talk shit about the gaming industry and play video games, and that pretty much about sums it up. There's nothing necessarily special about what I do. I just apparently people think it is. So, but what's good, everyone in chat?
What's special is that, you do it better than almost anybody else because you're objective about it. But speaking of individuals who are objective, we got Vex Electronica, Sexy Vexy. Once again, tell the people who you are and what you do.
I'm Vex Electronica, and I do many things. That's all I'm going to go.
I love it. And then last but not least, we got the Ozznot. Oz was introduced to me by Cass a long time ago, but we've never gotten to stream together before. So Oz, same deal.
Hi, how's it going? I'm fucking here. Fuck you, assholes. I don't know. Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
This is what you get.
Yeah, this is what you get.
Let's say hey to the chat, and then we'll just get right into the rankings. We got T-Gap Steve. How you doing, bud? Hey, an all-female show, plus Lord Ziggy. Awesome.
Yeah, hey. Excuse me, it's ma'am to you.
How you doing, bud? Appreciate you. Eddie Ramen. I don't know that I've actually ever seen you in the chat before, and if not, hey, welcome first time. If I have, and I'm just an asshole, then I apologize. But yeah, Game of the Year. Yeah. That's the difference between us and Game of the Year. This panel, we're actually going to talk about Hogwarts Legacy. So, Octopath Traveler 2 on the list. I'm not going to spoil too terribly much, but yes, Octopath Traveler 2 is in fact on the list. Nice to see you, General Vague. Rocky the Black Dragon. How you doing, Rocky? Nice to see you. General Vague, all right. Cannoli Sasquatch, did Leon Epstein himself after watching Aquaman? No, because I'm thinking, I might want to take your channel down permanently, so if I decide to do it, it'll be live while we're actually reviewing the show. So, Alex Moore, nice to see you, bud. Appreciate you for showing up. Jim Harrison, Sony Santa Monica are the GOATs. They released a 10-hour DLC for free, and it was awesome. There is one DLC I have on this list, mainly because I want to talk with it. Other than that, it is all just straight games. Hello, Leona. Good to see you again. All right, so never mind. Eddie is in fact familiar. Hey, Abomination AJ. Just streamed with him last week a couple times. He's awesome. If you guys aren't familiar with AJ, check him out. He is the man with a plan. Vinzinger, nice to see you. Says, sup, amigos. Jeremy Hughes reviews. Jeremy in the house. Hypno is probably gonna. Oh, dude, I'm gonna have some lofty takes tonight. What up, homosexuals, dude? If you thought I was lofty before, after some video game ranking, I'm sure I'm gonna be out some lofty tonight. Wheel of Snakes, nice to see you, brother. Fuck Norris in the house. Words of Paradise, Cult Classic Cage, and friends. All right, let's guys, let's just pull it up and get into it. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of games on this list. Not all of us have played all of them. However, I'm sure that you guys will in the chat will help us out if you played them. We got the S tier, A tier, B, C, D, Anita Sarkeesian tier, and didn't play.
Hold on. What goes into the Anita Sarkeesian tier?
Yeah.
Either games that the games that were so woke they were unplayable, or just games that were just flat out unplayable or bad.
Gotcha.
Just Anita Sarkeesian just encompasses everything negative. So the worst of the worst.
Okay.
Loftier takes tonight. Good, yeah. Lofty League stand. Yeah, because Abomination AJ is the black Lofty. So we got to meet him and Lofty on a stream together and just go. It would destroy the internet.
He doesn't think that Gaston from Beauty and the Beast is a handsome beefcake.
Who does it? Which one?
Abomination AJ. So he
posted.
He reposted like a picture of like the hottest men in Disney. And like, first of all, half of it was animals, so there was problem number one. But second of all, Gaston was not on there, and he's like,
"Why not?
I can't do it. He's too chiseled for me." I'm like, "What the? But the animals are okay."
Yeah. I actually agree that Gaston shouldn't be on here, but here's my reasoning why. As a male, I've met and frankly gotten in bed with plenty of women that have the crazy eyes. There's always the stereotype of the crazy eyes. Gaston is literally the male, with the crazy eyes. So if you're not into that sort of thing, but even before he goes crazy at the end, when you look at him when he's just singing his own Gaston,
listen, he's just a man. He's a real man. That's all it is. He should be on that list.
Oh, Lord.
All right, let's start with our first game. We're looking at Alan Wake 2. Did anyone actually play Alan Wake 2?
No.
Nope.
When
they release a physical disc, I'll play it. But as long as it's digital, I'm not playing that. Yeah.
Have you guys played the first one?
Yeah, I didn't like the first one.
Oh, you don't like the first one, really?
I thought it was mid.
I've been meaning to try it, and it's just something about that game that is just so uninspiring for me to want to actually play.
It's really good, actually.
Control is really good. Control is in that universe, and I love that game. It's basically
Control's in the same universe as Alan Wake.
Yeah, it is.
You play as ugly Jean Grey with a gun, and it's
I actually. It's funny because I didn't like that.
I loved it.
Alan Wake is like it's definitely a game of its time. It has not aged very well, but I thought it was really boring because I was like, oh, everyone says this is one of the best horror games out there. I should probably play it. I played it and I'm like, what the what? Why?
See, it's not one of the best. I don't think it's one of the best horror games if you're actually a fan of horror games. I think it's one of the best intro normie horror games. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't even classify it as that, in all honesty. I think Resident Evil does a far better job of being the intro.
Resident Evil's actual horror. I don't think I like Alan Wake, but I don't think Alan Wake is actual horror. It's more just psychological shit as opposed to horror.
Yeah.
Jim Harris says it's a unique game. Vasnum says it was boring AF. Alex Moore liked Control. That's cool. Alan Wake would be too scary for Cassie, and it's not scary.
I mean,
it's like an RE2 clone.
I played some zombie games.
I expected the chat to have played it, but all right. Well, we will go ahead and just throw Alan Wake 2 when it didn't play. Baldur's Gate 3. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say the general consensus of Alan Wake is that it has a really, really slow start, but then after you get past the start, it really picks up. For me, I just am not into games that I see a lot of live action in it. That just is a natural turnoff to me. I'm tired of games that are.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was like fan done or if that was legitimately from the game because it looked like maybe it's just because I'm watching on YouTube or whatever. But the live action quality was so bad. I thought it was just fans, like because there's been a lot of fan outcry for Alan Wake 2 for years. So I didn't realize it was part of the actual game.
Yeah.
But we're going to get right. Baldur's Gate 3, because this is in alphabetical order. I know we probably should say Baldur's Gate until the end because it's swept at the Game Awards, but fuck the Game Awards. They don't matter anyway. So I want you guys' honest thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3 because I have a hot take for it, but I want you to be as objective as possible for where it goes on the tier.
I haven't played it yet, but now that I know that it's turn-based and I watched some gameplay, I was like, oh, I want to play this now. So I'm going to stay didn't play. Looks good. Not on board with bear fucking though.
Why not?
Well, you don't have to play as the character that turns.
You need to introduce Ozznot to Abomination AJ after that comment. Like,
right?
Yeah. Why not?
I've tried Baldur's Gate 3 and I haven't really played games like that before. And honestly, it kicked my ass and I wasn't good at it at all. So it was a cool experience from that perspective to try something. It's just not for me, but I mean. I can give the game its kudos. I think that overall it's a really well done game. The story is really interesting. For me, when I was playing it, I wasn't obsessed with trying to get all the characters to fuck. So there was actually an interesting experience there for me as someone that's trying to see a story unravel. But yeah, I put about 15 hours into it and I dropped it. And it wasn't because of that, the game. I think the game is good at what it does. It's just something that doesn't jive well with me. So
just not your
I gotta give it props. Exactly. So, I think it's a well done game from what I played it with.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, but here's gonna be my take is that it goes in the A tier. And the reason it goes in the A tier, in my opinion, for someone that hasn't played it, I have played D&D my whole life growing up. And while this uses 5th edition D&D, which is one of the worst versions of D&D, to be able to accurately take D&D and just make it a video game is incredibly impressive. Now, it's not as impressive as people say. It's not S tier because, well, all the lore, all the rules, all that has been written for literal years upon years. You're just putting that in a game. But how accurately they put it in the game, I think, is worthy of A tier, just based on everything I know about it. So,
yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. All right.
I'm not surprised that it swept in the Game Awards. You just on the basis of this is a complete game, day one, with an immense amount of content, not asking for any extra purchases after the main purchase.
Which is so weird for WotC.
Yeah, like honestly, WotC doing the right thing by gamers is insane. But I mean, that's not even on account of them. That's account of the developers.
Larian, yeah.
Larian is known
WotC would be like, "Hey, here's some extra character skins for $3.99 a piece." Like they would be doing that shit. Like you guys buy Magic cards, we know you'll buy skins.
Yeah, on that basis, I really have to commend Larian for doing the right thing. And this was a game I was in early access, and a lot.
I did play it when it was in early access. I just haven't played the original because the early access version was actually really underwhelming, which is another reason I'm happy about this game is they genuinely did take fan feedback because it's been early access for like 2 years.
Yeah, early access has a really bad rap. It does because how many developers and companies have taken advantage of people getting their money immediately, and then these games never actually having an official 1.0 release. They did the right thing, and that's really cool, and it deserves to be praised. I think that they deserve the praise that they've gotten.
Yeah, no, I agree. I could still do without a lot of the. Just as a Dungeons and Dragons fan, this does cater to the modern, like, let's be real, Wizards of the Coast outwardly has made it very apparent they want the individuals that would get off on bear fucking to be their clientele, and they leaned into that far too heavily. But if we're being objective as a game, as a D&D game, I think A tier aside, like all that aside. Atomic Heart, this is a game I followed but have yet to play, but I'm very interested in it. And Cass, I think you played it, didn't you?
Played a little bit of it. Honestly,
not missing much.
Yeah, the intro was so bland. I'm not surprised that this was a Game Pass day one game.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm not either.
But you know what? Visually, it was looker visually. Like it's definitely a pretty game. I ran it on my PC.
See, that's a hot take. I don't like the way it looks.
Really?
And let me explain why though. So it looks good. Like graphically, it looks impressive, but it looks too real to the point whereas it doesn't have. I prefer my games to have a very distinctive art style. Like Hi-Fi Rush looks distinctive. Spyro looks distinctive. Like this game just literally looks real, but with robots, and so it doesn't jump out to me artistically.
I agree with Cassie. I think the intro starts off really slow, and it isn't till like the first boss fight that things really pick up, and that's like at least 8 hours in, even then, depending on how fast or slow you go at it. I thought it was fun though for what it was, like for a first kind of major release from a studio, given all of the pushback they had with the whole Russia-Ukraine narrative working against them too, and the fact that they refused to get political with that stuff. I don't know. I personally would rank it. It was fun for one playthrough. I wouldn't go back to it. So I would say it's maybe around C tier, I think.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's calling it a poor man Bioshock in the chat.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, C tier sounds acceptable. We can go C tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally a reskinned Bioshock. It does play like that quite a bit, which is the initial appeal to me, in all honesty, because
Bioshock's one of the best games ever made.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I like what you said about them not getting political, because I saw the same thing. I saw a bunch of people on X trying to cancel the game, and I was like, why? It is like, okay, so the company is in Russia. That it didn't. I don't know. Maybe it's just because
I will say this. There was another controversy surrounding this game where they apparently took a cartoon that let's just say poorly depicts Black people.
Yes.
And yeah.
But they were going for historical accuracy, so I thought I was fine with it when I found that in the game.
Yeah, but it's like
sorry, Cass, go for it.
No, it was just one of those things where you understand the current climate, right, buddy? Like, why would you go down this path
Yeah,
if you
base.
actually
Keep it. No, I'm with it.
Yeah.
No,
It
that
reminds
keeps
me.
the game from
Did
being a
anybody
D
here
tier.
play Cuphead?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when Cuphead came out, because I've been following production of Cuphead for years. To this day, it's one of my favorite games ever made, and because I love Fleischer animation, I love Rubber Hose animation. I'm a big old school cartoon fan, so this game had me hooked from the jump. I think I've bought Cuphead on like 3 different platforms at this point, and but when the game was coming out, there was this subset of idiots on Twitter, and it sucks because I didn't have a I did have a YouTube channel at the time, but it wasn't related to anything political, but there was this subset of idiots on Twitter who were throwing a fit because how dare they make Cuphead in this old 1930s style without acknowledging how poorly black people were treated in 1930s America. And to me, I was like, hold the fuck up. This makes no sense because either A, you ignore it because bad shit happened and you don't want that to taint your game, or B, you put black people in it. But that's going to be even more racist because black people in the 30s were depicted in a very racist way. Like, which one is worse to you people?
Well, what do you mean, you people? Hold on, Leon. Be careful.
Yeah. You people. You people are assholes.
What choice of words?
Yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think that honestly with this game, they kind of like honestly, if you didn't foreshadow what the controversy, I don't know what to tell you, dog. So.
Yeah, but fucking if Bioshock Infinite didn't piss you off, I mean that was way worse.
True.
All right, next game we got here. I'm gonna be real. I fucking hate these games. I like the very first one. I don't like any other after that. Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Anyone give a fuck?
Don't care.
Why won't this series die? Are there people still interested in these games?
There's only 2 that I'm interested in. That's the Japanese one and the fucking Salem Witchcraft one. After that,
yeah, I'm interested in the Witch
one. Witch Trials one?
Yeah, they announced it last year.
That shit looks fucking dope. If they're making a horror one, I'm in, bro.
Horror
related. You know what?
These are like. Go for it, Vex. No, go for it.
Say like Assassin's Creed is just that copy and paste game that will always sell when someone buys a console. I'm convinced at this point that's the only reason they keep making them, because any hardcore fans of Assassin's Creed don't play or give a fuck about the newer ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when everyone loved Assassin's Creed, and then after 3, it seemed like the fan base died, but for some reason they kept making games.
Yeah. It's weird because now their fan base is kind of like fractured. Some people actually like the RPG ones. I do. The less Assassin's Creed is, the more I tend to like it. This one is more of a return form for Assassin's Creed, but I heard that it's kind of there's some things about it that they could have did better, so it kind of definitely falls in like the lower portion of our list. It just from general consensus, I haven't played it.
Right. Well, and if anyone in the chat has played it, let us know, because in the chat I want your guys' opinions. If there's games that we haven't played but you guys have, let me know. Your thoughts will affect where it goes on the tier list. If none of us have played it but you guys in the chat have, then by all means let us know. We'll rank it based on what you say. But as far as Assassin's Creed goes, man, I liked the first on PS3, but that's because at the time I felt like it genuinely was a game changer. I'd never played a game like Assassin's Creed. Second one came out, and I thought it was cool, but it was just more of the same. I didn't play any after that, except at my buddy's house. I'd play him every now and again if he was pulling it out or whatever, but I'd never actively bought and played anything after the second.
Hold on, you'd play them if he was pulling out?
Whoa, wait, hey.
Had a Leona moment there.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I've heard very good things about Odyssey, so I'd like to play that at some point. But the last one I played was Black Flag, and I
Oh.
Sorry. Black Flag.
You say Black Flag, like.
I really enjoyed that game. That was really good. And yeah, I'm looking forward towards the Witch one as well.
Yeah, I really like the parades.
It looks like no one in the Alex received some face. It was intended to be DLC before spinning off into its own thing.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
I actually don't have an issue with that when it comes to games. Like Tears of the Kingdom was the same way. It was supposed to be a DLC, but they had so many ideas. They're just like, fuck it, time to make a whole new game. And I think that they did that absolutely brilliantly. Well, remember, Leon only looks for local dudes. No, Leona only looks for local dudes. I'm a Assassin's Creed fan. I like the new one, Debunk Vex. Let's see. I've been playing Returnal. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's on the list as well. So yeah, we'll get to that. I just like to say that I played games on the Sega Genesis that had better space exploration than Starfield. We'll get to Starfield as well. I've been enjoying Cosmonia's High. It's a really fun VR game made the same people who made Job Simulator. I like Job Simulator. I've never heard of Cosmonia's High, but Leona only comes out for specific occasions. So it's got to mean something, like episode 69 of SNH, which, man, the homeboy getting railed in the Senate couldn't have happened at a better fucking time. Like, that was beyond perfect, since I'd already planned on doing Leona anyway. So anyway,
what is Leona? What is?
Oh, so I go on other people's streams all dressed in drag and pretend that I'm trans, that Leon has come out as Leona and whatnot, and basically make fun of trans ideology.
Pretend, he says. Pretend.
Yeah.
Talk about these pulling out stories.
Right? Uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll put that in didn't play. We got Armored Core 6. I'm sure folks have opinions on this. I did not play it, but I watched a lot of people play it, and this game was just magnificent.
Yeah. Honestly, I watched my boy Blaze, shout out to Blaze 4K. He beat the game in like 2 days. I don't know how. It was either 2 or 3 days. He is a Souls beast. Like, he was one of the first people that actually beat Elden Ring. He just destroys these games, and I watched him and a few other people play it in Discord, and it is an awesome game. These games just aren't for me. I don't have the patience. I kind of just, when I'm fighting something, it's like, I'm gonna slam my face into these enemies, and that's how I pretty much fight it. And with these sorts of games, you need a little strategy. Yeah, exactly. You need a little bit of strategy in these sorts of games. But overall, I think that is such a quality game, from the visuals to the strategy behind it to the overall gameplay. They did a phenomenal job. So shout out to them.
Gord King says S tier. Serrano says AC6 was great, one of the best of the year. I mean, again, so you can beat it in 16 to 20 hours. But there's also a lot of replay value to it, considering all the different builds and loadouts and whatnot. So you can beat Resident Evil games in like 2 hours if you do it right. I love speedrunning Resident Evil, but you still the game wants you to play them over and over. So I mean, I got no issue with shorter games if there is like genuine replayability, which it seems like AC6 has.
Yeah, I never got a chance to check this one out. It's on my list to play, though, because I've heard nothing but good things about it. And it's that type of game is usually my cup of tea. So I think we can put it in S tier, though, just based on what the chat says.
Yeah, I agree. Chat says S. Chat, we listen. Asking you shall receive. Armored Core 6 is our first S tier of the day. This next game, though, nobody aside from me played. I literally only put it on here because I wanted to talk about it. It is my show, and I'm a selfish asshole. And that is Dune Spice Wars. Does anybody play RTS games besides me?
There's only one.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
You're the only one, buddy. You're the one.
So I like RTS games. I'm a fan. I've been playing RTS games since I think my first was probably Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. And then I didn't even know what an RTS game was. I just thought it was a really cool game. And from there, I started
RTS game.
Like it. Huh? Real-time strategy.
Oh.
Halo Wars is
Halo Wars is a great RTS game. That was the first one I played knowing it was an RTS. Like, I went in knowing, okay, this is an RTS game. I want to play it. And yeah, I really liked Halo Wars. Let's see. I tried to like the game, but it wasn't for me. I think it's talking about Armored Core 6. Okay, so I've got 100% in Armored Core 6 in about 60 hours. Nice. Cassie just slams her nose into the guys. Did you steal your line, Leon? Did she steal your line, Leon? A lot of people talking about Spider-Man. Drink new tea. Play Armored Core 6. Speaking of tea, got that nice green tea right here. It's good for your metabolism, folks.
Nice.
Zeno says, RTS games. Wait, Spice World has a Dune movie? So
that's the crossover I'd like to see, though.
So Vasim, if you've got, I don't know if you have Game Pass or not. It's on Game Pass. That's how I played it. Homeworld 3 is due out next year. I don't know what Homeworld 3 is. Does any of you guys know, are familiar with Homeworld 3?
I have no idea.
Damn, speedrun is sub 2 hours for AC6. That's banana. All right, that's anyway. So for Dune Spice Wars, as an RTS, you got 5 factions, and all 5 play differently. But the goal is to build up as many resources. You've got 3 different ways you can win your engagements, and you can either win by taking over all the territories. I have never once won doing that yet. That is insanely difficult to do. You can win by collecting a certain amount of spice, which is also very difficult, or you can just outlast your enemies, keep your resources high enough to where they lose all theirs first. And it's always the game is great in terms of its difficulty. You can set it to where it's only you and one other faction, or you could do you and 2, all the way up to all 5 factions at once. You can have these sessions last for as low as an hour to, I literally sat and played a session that was over 8 fucking hours, and the war still wasn't won because all 5 factions, we were just going at it. And after 8 hours, I was like, oh no, I've got work in like 5 hours and I haven't slept yet. I have to turn it off. So I didn't even get to finish the fucking that was like as an RTS, it's just it fits the Dune world so perfectly. You've got different characters from the books that have different, like, you know, not Paul, Leto Atreides, Paul's father is the character played by Oscar Isaac in the films, if you're familiar. Like, he's his whole thing is diplomacy towards the natives of the land. So if you choose the house Atreides, you're gonna have a better chance of winning over the native factions of Arrakis. If you choose the Harkonnens, for example, bloodbath, you don't give a fuck, kill everybody. Like, you care about the spice. And so basically all the different factions are better at something than others, and it makes for an incredible game. So if you like RTS, then I would highly recommend Dune Spice Wars. I'm putting it in an A tier.
The one thing you left out, is there any actual spices in the Spice War?
Yeah, sugar, spice, and everything nice.
Am I going to expect some sort of like British invading India kind of spice trade?
It's sort of like Mojo. I was looking for Jojo in it.
Well, yeah, one of the things you do is you build up you saw the movie Dune, I assume. So you remember the giant spice walkers?
I've not seen Dune yet.
You haven't seen Denis Villeneuve's Dune?
No, I read the book. No,
fuck,
I haven't read the book.
Fuck books. Fuck books.
To be honest, it's not that I have anything it's not that I have anything against sci-fi. It's just not a go-to genre for me. That's all.
Wow. Like, it cuts me deep. Dune is my favorite book. Like, the Dune series is my favorite book series of all time. That's why
I literally know nothing about Dune aside from that it's sci-fi and it's supposed to be really epic.
It is quite literally. I'm being 100% serious and not ironic whatsoever. I genuinely believe the Dune books are better than the Lord of the Rings books. Dang. Like, that's it. That level of epic. It's got insane religious connotation. So much. It's got more politics than Game of Thrones. It's got more politics than backstabbing. It creates a world, an entire universe that, in my opinion, is more interesting than Middle Earth. I can't. There's no way for me to hype up the books or the movie even, and then you watch it and be like, yeah, no, you overhyped it. I don't think it's possible to overhype Dune.
Nerd. Sorry.
Listen, I'll get around to Dune when the second one comes out. I'll watch the movie, but again, like, it's just not and Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya, like, I just. You couldn't pick 2 painfully mid actors to
actually no. Timothy is a great Paul. I'm gonna be real. So Paul Atreides is the main character. I get why people don't like Timothy Chalamet in general as like an actor and a person, but he plays the character of Paul brilliantly because he's supposed to be like a 15-year-old prince who wants to understand these sort of natives. He's from 2 different worlds. Like, the Force in Star Wars, the Force was based on the Bene Gesserit witches from the Dune series. And so his mother is a Bene Gesserit witch and his father is royalty. And he's supposed to be basically this jihad figure that is like the reincarnation, more or less, of the natives of Dune's, Christ, basically. And again, Timothy Chalamet, he killed it. He looked the part. He looked young enough to be 15, which is the age the character's supposed to be. Unlike the fucking shitty 80s movie where the dude's like clearly almost 30. This whole stream is supposed to turn into sucking off Dune, but my point, watch it.
Yeah. Hard.
Waiting on watching Dune until Dune 2 drops. 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah.
Better story than Lord of the Rings, more politics than Game of Thrones. Damn, that's high praise. I'm not even exaggerating, General Vagan. Like I love Lord of the Rings, I do, but I'm just trying to drive home how incredible Dune is. It is a very difficult read because there is so much.
Hold on. So, okay, let me just clarify then, because I see that Dune is an A tier right now. Is Dune an A tier because it's a good RTS game, or because you're so hard for Dune?
No, it's both. So when you're going to do a licensed game, not only does the game have to be good, but it has to accurately represent the license. And I think this is one of the best licensed games I've ever played, as well as one of the best RTS games I've ever played.
Okay, just wanted clarification.
No, I can appreciate that. To be fair, Leon, Dune up to God Emperor is epic. The last 2 books by Frank are really kind of weird. And anything written by Brian and Kevin J. So I actually like some of the Kevin J. Anderson books. Obviously the Frank Herbert stuff, that's lore. That's all him. And then he died. His son and some others took over, and I like the world building they do, but I look at them more as accessories, not as main canon. M. Night Chalamet is great in Lies of P. Is that actually him, by the way? Did they actually model Pinocchio after Timothy Chalamet and Lies of P? I thought that was a joke.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I think it's just a coincidence.
I think they purposely tried to make Pinocchio like androgynous.
Thank you so much, Zeno. I appreciate it. You did not have to do that whatsoever. Anytime someone thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate it. Zeno, you are the man. Everyone go sub to Zeno. He puts out dope tracks. He's the one that made my intro music. He made Cass's as well. He is incredible. He and I might have something on the books musically coming out later. So check that out and show Zeno some love. Thank you, Zeno. I genuinely appreciate that. The Last Jedi is better than Dune Part 1. Jim, you over here trying to start wars, and I will not have it.
Start them.
We'll move on to okay. So Fire Emblem Engage.
Nope.
Are you a Fire Emblem fan?
Nope. Don't care.
Yeah, I played Fire Emblem on the Game Boy, and that was the last time I played Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I heard this game is dope, though.
Yeah, I've heard it's dope as well. I'm behind on the Fire Emblem games. I haven't played any of the last 3 releases, but I'm a massive Fire Emblem fan. This game, it looks great. Alex Moore says Engage was his number 4 game. Alex, do you mean like your number 4 in terms of games that came out this year? CLS says D tier. Mid from what I heard. IDK, man. Wow, getting some mixed responses. I know Serranos is in the chat. He really liked Fire Emblem Engage. So we're going to get some mixed responses between people saying mid, number 4 game. I mean, I would lend that to a C tier then, if that's,
sounds like a C tier, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will. Yep. I'll go ahead and throw Fire Emblem in the C tier. And here, all right, one of the games I can't wait to hear Cass and Vex and everyone talk about. Forspoken is next on the list. Let's hear it. What do you guys want Forspoken?
I need a Sarkeesian tier.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, I've only played the demo and established that, this game is not for me.
Is that the bitch in space?
No, it's the bitch that is kind of a troublemaker character, which I thought was very... The premise of this game is fucking weird. It's like, it's one of those situations, again, that Square has put themselves in where they're just like, let's kind of act, like we're American or we're whatever. Like, this is, every time Square Enix attempts this, they always fuck themselves. This is where, Final Fantasy 13 fucked the Final Fantasy franchise. Every time they do this. And apparently this is written by a couple of people in the West, and it's like, I understand why this game came to fruition and why it's just bad. It's trying to do a whole lot by mixing East and West, and they don't do a good job of it at all. And I think it's a shame because I think that it had potential. I think it's cool. It would have been cool to have like a game like this in terms of generally what they were going for. But I don't know, man. I don't know why people capped for this game the way that they did.
I'm gonna partially agree with you there. Like, the idea seemed okay, and I definitely get the mix of the East-West thing not working, but it was just broken on launch. It looked like an unfinished product. I think even the character building was very poor as well. And then if that weren't bad enough, it was just all of the controversies surrounding this game, which I would say tanked it even more. So yeah, people were shilling for this game nonstop. All the activists in gaming decided to come out and back this too. Then people were saying that, oh, she doesn't count as a black character because she's not black enough.
Wait, I hadn't heard of
that. Yeah, that was an actual controversy surrounding this main character. Yeah. So that's why I rank this as this goes in the Anita Sarkeesian tier.
I mean, based on all the controversy around it, that's where I was thinking this should go anyway. But I also heard that like, not only is because Eddie right here says weak writing. Not only is the writing, because I've watched the cutscenes and whatnot, the writing is atrocious, but also just wasn't fun to play. It was nothing new. It was just a bunch of stuff that we've seen in games before, and it looked like visually the graphics were ass. There was nothing about this game that screams it should exist.
It's made by the Final Fantasy 15 developers. I think Final Fantasy 15 looked better than this, and I feel like
still looks good in my opinion on the PS4. Like,
honestly speaking, I agree with you. Even though I have my gripes with that game, but I feel like with this game they were trying to fix some of their issues that they had with 15, and somehow end up making an even worse game. I don't know how that is, but.
Damn!
Right. we got our first Anita Sarkeesian tier, everybody. You love to see it. All right, now we got one that I'm very excited.
I think it came out the same day as Hi-Fi Rush did, I do believe.
Around the same window. I think, almost the same time. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know my boy Shinji Mikami can still show Square Enix what the fuck is up. So, speaking of Shinji Mikami, I haven't watched the interview yet, but apparently he did an interview with Hideo Kamiya. I can't remember if I'm saying his name right or not.
Hideki
Kamiya. Thank you. Where he said he was not interested in coming back to do any more Resident Evil. And as the man that literally started Resident Evil and made the first several games, that's so depressing to hear. But also, I'd rather him not come back and him not want to make one and him just like do it out of obligation and it be, tarnish his reputation. So, hats off to the legend Shinji Mikami, the greatest game developer of all time, in my opinion.
Who?
He's definitely one of the.
Who the fuck is that?
Resident Evil creator.
Rip!
Oh, listen, the greatest of all time is Mr. Miyamoto. Get the fuck out of here.
I love Miyamoto. Miyamoto comes right after Shinji Mikami for me. No, they're my top two, but Shinji Mikami is like. There's a reason I have a Resident Evil tattoo, but not a Zelda or Mario tattoo. Is because Resident Evil hit me on a level that no other series ever has. So to see the creator say he's not going to come back to any more, it's bittersweet.
They're both definitely pillars of gaming. Honestly, if you're gonna have like a Mount Rushmore, I think both are deserving of consideration for sure.
What Americans would you even put on a Mount Rushmore of video gaming, like American developers? I can't really think of anyone whose name jumps out.
Yeah, Ed Boon.
Oh no! Ugh. Oh my god!
Sassy Sasquatch, great review yesterday. I loved watching it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Donald Mustard. He played Mustard too.
Is that the guy that made? Yes, Shinji Mikami did go on to make The Evil Within and then Hi-Fi Rush. Yep. He also made another one for the PS3 360, and it sucked. I don't even remember the name of it. It was not good. But yeah, let's talk about from one horror to another. Forspoken being horror for very different reasons. The Dead Space remake.
Hell yeah, that was good.
Dead Space 1 is one of my top games. I haven't gotten around to playing the remake yet because I haven't renewed my Game Pass subscription yet because I haven't had time to game. But like from what I've watched,
it's really fucking good.
yeah, based on my deep love for it, I would put this in an S tier because it seems
like it's fucking dope.
This was not just
tell me it doesn't go in Anita Sarkeesian because of the gender-neutral bathrooms.
Are there actually gender-neutral bathrooms in this?
There are, but I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, that whole synthetic man is fucking cancer. Like, honestly, like the shame is sometimes he can have good takes, but literally he just threw an entirely acceptable remake that really was well done as fuck under the bus because you happen to come across a bathroom that just is gender neutral. Like, I feel like that's so fucking petty.
The chat's kind of divided on it. Vasinum says, I couldn't stop noticing all the political crap they crowbarred in, but Zeno says, let's be real, it was just an eye roll moment. And yeah, that's my thoughts. Like, whatever, move on. Like,
it's a fucking shitter. Who gives a shit?
Okay, now I'm really curious. Okay, I've got my Game Pass code ready. I'm gonna
I highly recommend it. I think it's anytime you do a remake, you should do it from the ground up.
It's really good.
And keep it as close to the original as possible. I think the Spyro Reignited trilogy is the perfect example of how to do it, whereas the Resident Evil remakes are the example of what not to do. And I think Dead Space falls closer to Spyro than it does Resident Evil. It looks gorgeous. It's mostly like 80% the same.
They expanded on the Ishimura a bit, which I think is cool.
Yeah, they did.
They really did. They tried to stick as closely to the original as possible while giving the players a little bit more, which I can appreciate. And honestly, when it comes to anything that be considered like woke that's in the game, like honestly, at some point you have to consider whether you're looking for it or not. If you go out of your way to go into a game and say, I'm going to look for any fucking sign of wokeness at all. If that's
Starfield.
Your main,
Starfield's. But there's games that throw it at you when you're not looking for it, like Spider-Man.
Exactly, no doubt. Like, there's definitely games out there that overindulge. But with Dead Space, I mean, look, I didn't beat it, but I played a decent amount of it, and I think it's a really good game. Like, I didn't really come across anything. Like, I didn't purposely say, oh yeah, let me go look at this bathroom. Let me see if it has a men's, women's thing. Like, I didn't do that. I was just playing the game, and I really didn't come across anything that was like, oh, well, this is super sus, guys. No, like, it really, honestly, the atmosphere is fucking insane. The visuals are dope as hell. I really love the overall design and tone. And my only complaint is that they made the characters look uglier. But, I mean, other than that... No, I'm talking about, like, the good guys that aren't supposed to look ugly.
Gotcha. They made our boy Jason a butterface. Then is what you're telling me.
When it comes to like wokeness in games and whatnot, my thought process is more like, because I see people in the chat saying it breaks immersion and whatnot. Maybe it's petty. I just want mindless fun. I don't want real world politics on either side forced in. And I can understand that mentality. I take the same mentality as Cass. Like, it has to egregiously jump out at me. Like, Dead Space to me was it still felt like Dead Space. Now, I was dead set against this remake, by the way. I did not want this. I was, because I'm a pretty anti-remake type of individual. I think that you should games 9 times out of 10 shouldn't be remade, and now they're starting to remake shit from the PS3 era, which, let's be real, in the grand scheme of gaming, wasn't that fucking long ago. A lot of PS3 games do hold up. I was like, really? They're remaking Dead Space? Like, that's fucking unnecessary. I was proven wrong. I'd eat some crow on this one because, this game was pretty. I still think I prefer the original, but I don't know how much that is nostalgia or also how much of it is when you play through a horror game, you're really only going to get that true fear once. And at least for me, because I remember all that shit. So when I do my second and third playthroughs, I remember the scary parts. And so Dead Space, I didn't feel as much fear going in playing the remake, because I played the original. Now, for people that didn't play the original, I can see them having that fear. So that kind of diminished my experience a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. So where do we put this then?
I think this goes... I'm thinking B tier is about accurate. What does everybody else think?
I'm okay with that.
B or A, either or would be applicable.
Yeah, let's throw this bitch into B tier. and talk about Meet Your Maker. I hadn't heard of this one when I was looking at games of 2023. Yeah, I was.
Wait,
yes,
is that the weird ass Minecraft looking game? No, I'm good.
It's like some sort of robot game where let me pull up some information about it because it was on the list of notable games of 2023. And I figured maybe someone else would know about it. Just went under my radar. So you're a custodian of the Chimera, a living experiment created as the last resort to save life on Earth. You play. It's like a first-person post-apocalyptic shooter / building thing. Meet Your Maker. Yeah, it's a building game of brutal expression and conquest.
The developers behind Dead by Daylight too.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I like Dead by Daylight.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was a thing. But
yeah,
it's a game that I think would be cool for like people that are creative. I am not one of those people, so
yeah.
you know. But it looks like I like the visual aesthetic of it. Then it's like, yeah, this is like something building oriented, and I'm like, okay, but
the only building game that I genuinely really enjoy. Okay, I've gotten into Minecraft the last 6 months, but I was diehard anti that game for years upon years. But that's because I suck building. Well, here's the reason why. I love Legos, but I need instructions. I don't have the creativity, the imagination to build original shit out of Legos. So Minecraft is just Legos as a video game to me. I need to follow.
What the fuck? To play fucking Fortnite? What are you doing? There's fucking Legos in it.
I told you I didn't play Fortnite, Ozznot. My PC, for whatever reason, can't fucking run it.
You got a cell phone? You have a tablet?
Space and Resident Evil 4 at full specs, but I can't fucking run Fortnite.
I'm not gonna lie, Fortnite on PC is a pain in the ass to run. Yeah. I definitely had to make some concessions for it. It's
right. I don't know why I could not get Fortnite to work on my PC. So I've just been like on the fuck Fortnite train just because it won't run properly, and I don't have another console currently I can play it on because I don't think the only other console I have besides my PC right now is Switch. So
you can play Fortnite on Switch. It's a dog shit experience, but you can.
You can find better experience on your phone.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. But either way, we're talking about building games. I like Dragon Quest Builders. I don't know because I know Cass, you're a Dragon Quest fan.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if you
pretty good.
that or not.
Dragon Quest Builders is awesome. 2, I think is fucking phenomenal. I love it.
To show you how little of 2 I've played. I don't know about where you guys live. Where I live, up until about a year and a half ago, we still had places that you could rent video games. And until they finally, the last 4 places, it was a chain, finally closed down about a year and a half ago. And I only played Dragon Quest Builders 2 via renting it. And it was a lot of fun, but I didn't get to put a lot of time into it. What was that, Oz?
It still exists.
It did where I live, yeah, in the Midwest, absolutely. Yeah, it was nice. I used to rent video games all the time. People talking about how they missed Blockbuster and shit, man. I was renting video games all the way up until literally about a year and a half ago. That's why I never really felt the need to get a PC or Steam or Game Pass or anything like that because I could go rent physical discs, and I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I rented Dragon Quest Builders too, but I didn't get enough time with it to really love it like the first one.
I like the objective-based builder because with Minecraft, it's like, hey, just do your thing. And I'm like, I need objectives, man.
Yeah, I need a better objective than just survive. Because that's what Minecraft is build shit until you die. You either starve to death or you get killed or whatever. Like, that's why if I want to listen to Joe Rogan, but I don't want to watch Joe Rogan, I'll pop on Minecraft so that I can play for 3 hours while listening to Joe Rogan. Like that's when I play Minecraft.
You gotta get your PC fixed. Minecraft on the Lego shit's fucking dope. I actually started getting into it. I like it.
Yeah.
We got Vasinum saying it depends on how old the game being remade is. Oh, absolutely. When I say I'm against remakes, there are some games that I think deserve remakes. For example, I'm a big advocate for Sonic Adventure getting a remake. I think I haven't played the System Shock remake. It's on this list. The original System Shock is incredible, so I really want to play the System Shock remake. But it's not just about how old the game is, so much so as does the game hold up in its current fashion. If you go back and play the original, are you going to have just as much fun, if not more fun, than you get from a modern game? I think they're remaking a lot of games that hold up exceedingly well, such as Resident Evil 4, for example. Start remaking games that had a good legacy, but don't translate well, that don't hold up very well. Like that's like I can see Silent Hill 2. That while I'm very against the Silent Hill 2 remake because they said they're going to tone down the horror, that pisses me off. But
they did.
In theory, they said they're going to tone down the horror, and that's literally the reason to play Silent Hill. But I'm in theory, I'm more open to that getting a remake than something like Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 holds up. Silent Hill 2, I can see people. I still love it. I still enjoy it, but I can see newer players not appreciating classic Silent Hill. So.
Yeah, I think that honestly, a remake that at least would try to be close to the original would, because Silent Hill is one of those where it's like, it's well known, but just discussion based. But when you look at the sales of the franchise, it's not really that good. I feel like a modern day release of Silent Hill, could potentially open more people up to trying the franchise, because when I looked up the general sales of Silent Hill, I was like, damn, for how many people talk about Silent Hill, I was thinking there would be like, bigger numbers than what I was seeing.
It'll be a whole new generation of fans. Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, they also haven't had a mainline release since 2012, so there's that too. Oh no, let's put out some pachinko machines in Japan. Go fuck yourselves, Konami. God, Silent Hill isn't even top tier horror for me. I like both Resident Evil and Fatal Frame better, but I still love Silent Hill. I would like that series to be treated with some fucking respect.
Yeah.
The only fucking Metal Gear you're gonna get is fucking it's Snake Pete in Fortnite. Have fun.
Hi, man, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you for showing up. I'm in Richard Swag Lord in the house, a dope streamer. Make sure to check him out. He's the man with a plan. I heard people can rent video games from the library as well. Really?
Library?
Library's still a thing.
There's still a thing?
Yes, libraries are still a thing. Hold on.
Man, I haven't heard of someone saying, yo, Leon, let's go to the library since I was in like 11th grade.
Oh, they'll be extinct soon.
Gamefly is still around? Really?
Yeah, they are.
Holy shit, I had no idea.
I'm fucking old. I
remember when Gamefly first came out, and it was incredible. Wow. Yeah, right here. Aspen says the best. What could possibly go wrong with buying digital only? If anyone wants to go off on a tangent on that, I'm all ears.
Honestly, if people don't understand what you're giving up by the all digital future. I mean, you're just ignorant at this point. I don't think we need to have this discussion. It's just you're choosing to be ignorant.
Yeah,
it should be an option.
Jim. Hey, I'm not Vasnum. Did I flip you two when I was reading your comments? If I did, my bad. Vasnum and Jim comment so much. Sorry if I did that, guys.
It's the same argument as the always connected to internet thing. We warned you what the problem would be. No one listened, and here we are 10 years later, and now people are complaining about it en masse. Same thing is basically happening with digital now, because they're taking away DLCs that people paid for. They're taking away TV shows that people paid for through certain channels and whatnot. So we tried to warn you.
Yeah, dude. I love buying physical. I've got, not only do I have Cowboy Bebop on Blu-ray, but I have the Cowboy Bebop collection on DVD as well. Just in case, for whatever reason, I'm in a position where I can't watch it on Blu-ray. Like, I'll buy the same thing. I told you guys I bought Cuphead. I think I got it on PC, PS4, and Switch. Like, I want to be able to have access.
This was like 500 megabytes, and I fucking paid the $30 to get it physical.
Let's make you bigger here to show what that is.
Story Seasons, nice.
Yeah.
Was it Harvest Moon?
Oh yeah, Story Seasons. Yeah, that's on the list. Purely,
and it's also on Game Pass. So there's.
Is that on Game Pass? Really?
Yeah. It's on
there. I didn't know that. Okay, I was really hyped for it, so I bought it.
What is it called?
Story Seasons, A Wonderful Life.
General Bag says, and I get what he's saying. If Steam goes down, I lose my library. I'm never buying anything digital ever again. But my thought process is waiting for that to happen it's already too late. Like, once something like that happens, there is no going back. That, like, Alan Wake 2. Let's say Alan Wake 2 wasn't accused of being a woke mess. I do like the first Alan Wake. I refuse to play Alan Wake 2 unless it gets a physical fucking release. I'm not going to do... The only time I will do digital-only games is, you know, if they're very small sort of spin-off things, I genuinely want to like Tetris 99. That's obviously digital only. I like Tetris. Even Link's Crossbow Training. Granted, this is the Wii. This is back in like 2010. Digital games weren't massive yet. But even Link's Crossbow Training, which is a mini game collection for the Switch, like shooter thing, a spin-off of Zelda, had a physical release.
I think I make the exception for really small indie releases just because I know they generally don't have the money or like the fan base to justify making a physical copy. So I think those are like a rare instance where I'll do it. But like something like Alan Wake 2, already the first game is very beloved. We knew like you guys easily could have forked out the money to make a hard copy of that one, especially since Remedy Games has had no problem doing that for far smaller releases just in the last 2-3 years. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. I think now that the sales numbers came out, a lot of people are just like, oh well, you guys should release a physical copy now, because people thought the numbers were low.
I still haven't played the Final Fantasy VII Remake purely because, okay, not true. I haven't bought it. I played, my buddy had it on his PS4, and he and I were roommates at the time, so I played it on him. But I didn't buy the Final Fantasy VII Remake because I'm not going to, maybe when they put out all the individual chapters, they'll do a physical release that has all of them. And by all means, I'd buy that. But, you know, I refuse to do Final Fantasy, to actually purchase Final Fantasy VII Remake purely because it was digital only. I didn't even care that it was a split chapter release. I thought, you know what, maybe that's a way to really expand the world of Final Fantasy VII. That could be interesting. If it's so big, you need multiple chapters. But I'm not doing physical only. Or, I mean, download only. And like, Zeno says, save your time and money, Leon. And, yeah, you're a big Alan Wake fan. Like, that's one of your favorite games. If you hated it that much, I might have to take your word for it.
Dang.
Did anyone hear about this? Alex vs. Evil is saying, did anyone hear Sony is going to stop you from selling PS5 games?
Apparently there was a change in their reselling stuff, but it turns out no, the policy has remained unchanged since 2013.
Yeah.
So that's misinformation. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Fact checked, chat.
Speaking of fact checks, Jim Harrison says Final Fantasy VII Remake is on disc. Is that a recent thing? Because it didn't launch on disc. It launched digital only. I didn't know they made a disc version.
I did get I don't know if it's the basic copy that maybe didn't get an official release, but I bought like the special edition.
Oh yeah, I man says it had a collector's edition. Okay, I was unaware of that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is true, man. So, fuck North Hill. I'm a big Fallout guy. Fallout 76 came out. I pre-ordered Fallout 76 because I was retarded and thought it would be a good game. And the reason I pre-ordered it is because when you walked into GameStop, it actually had cases, like legit cases. I was like, wait, we're gonna get physical discs for Fallout 76. I go, I get it, I pick it up because pre-order's done, I'm ready. I crack it open. It's a fucking piece of cardboard in the shape of a disc. This is Fallout 76. Download code.
Those printouts, and they have just a stack of empty cases in the back just for marketing. So that's like it's intentionally false advertising. It's just because they have a specific display they're supposed to make.
Yeah, because I genuinely thought I'd be getting a physical copy for the PC of Fallout.
Wish you had a nice coaster with it.
Oh, I was so angry. Shut the fuck up, Zeno.
Damn.
I got it April 14th, 2020. It came out on April 10th. Okay, fair enough. I guess I was wrong. I thought it was a digital only release. My bad. I missed the boat on that one. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move to the next game. By the way, Meteor Maker we're throwing in didn't play. None of us played that one. Exoprimal. I have gripes with this game, but I want Vex to talk about it first. My gripes are retarded.
Okay. Dude, I had fun with this. It was so simple. It was nothing new, but mechanics were great. The team play was great. Online functionality never failed me. Like there was never an issue with the servers or anything. But yeah, it is just an online shooter. So it's not reinventing. It does something that we've seen time and time before. It's done well, and it's got fucking dinosaurs in it. So I'm gonna rank this as a B tier.
I'll take your word for it. I'll get Cass and Ozznot before I get into my gripes. Either of you guys play it? Do either of you have opinions on it?
Yeah, it sucks.
The beta. No, I wasn't impressed.
I spent so much time in that game this year. That's why.
To be fair, I put more time into the Exoprimal beta than I did the Suicide Squad alpha. So at least I did give it my due diligence, because the Suicide Squad thing, I deleted that shit. Like
I thought it was gonna be like a looter shooter. I'm like, this is just fucking the fuck's that one with the gorilla in it. The fuck's that?
Eddie is discounting Oz and Cass is going with Vex. B it is like.
Oh, I know what game you're talking about. No, I know
Overwatch.
No, it's
Overwatch
not
with
like
Overwatch.
Overwatch at all. No,
yeah.
It's not like, no.
You play. You go through a couple of rounds, you kill some dinosaurs, and then you fucking take the thing to the other thing. That's what you do.
And it's just
Overwatch.
fun. And then you level up, and then there's new missions that you unlock. If you play it by yourself, it gets old really quickly. But I was squatted up every time I played, and it was a lot of fun. So
here's my gripe with Exoprimal. I was watching, I think it was not E3 or Summer Game Fest, whenever it was first announced, and I thought they were rebooting Dino Crisis. So
yeah,
I was
me too.
so excited.
Yeah, I was
and
pissed.
then it showed up, and then when they got a little further in the trailer, the title came out, and it wasn't Dino Crisis. I said, "Fuck this game! I'm never playing it." I've been begging for Dino Crisis to come back.
Yep, I hear you.
Years.
A lot of people.
I hear you. Dino Crisis is so fucking awesome.
All right, I think we'll meet in the middle then and throw it in the C tier. Since
sure.
Cass and Oz, what would you give it out of this ranking? So Vex said B. I haven't played it, so I can't.
Well, it's free. There's that.
I only played the beta, so I can't really speak to the main game. To be fair,
okay.
It's free.
Well, if you played the beta, we can put it in B for beta.
I'm fine with going C. Yeah, I think C is a good.
I'm putting C.
Yeah, because
C plus.
If I played it just by myself, my ranking would definitely be a lot lower. But it certainly is elevated when you have a group of drunk friends. So.
Well, alcohol always makes things better.
That is the best way to play those. Like, I used to have my first YouTube channel years old. Back in like 2014, 2015, I had a channel called Drinking Games where we would just get drunk and play games and just do like drunken comedy gaming. And I quit doing that channel for various reasons, but basically, yeah, I love doing that with games. The only time in my life I've ever played Dark Souls was Dark Souls 2. We did Drunk Souls, and it was take a shot every time you die. And I had never played a Dark Souls game before. I got fucked up that night. Like,
that's great. That's great.
Did anyone play Pikmin 4?
Nope.
I've been meaning to, and I just didn't get the opportunity to buy the game, but I heard it's awesome.
I love the first two Pikmin games, but those are the only ones I've played. So it's just more of the same. I imagine it's probably a solid B tier game. But again,
shocked when it won an award at the Game Awards. I was like, wait,
Pikmin didn't it win like best strategy game or family game or something to that effect?
Yeah, and I was like, wait, because Pikmin was always that franchise that never really got its just due, even though it's a Miyamoto
it was strategy
joint. And so I was kind of shocked. I'm like, wait, like Pikmin's finally getting its just due, like this game that lets you indulge in slavery.
Nintendo's always pushed Pikmin hard. They're all like, hey, look at all these Pikmin characters in Smash Bros. You guys know you want to go buy Pikmin, right? Like Nintendo is, it's like the Fetch. I know Fetch is never going to happen. It's like Pikmin's never going to happen. But it seems like it's finally happening, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, for the longest time, my Steam avatar was the Rock Pikmin because it's one of like my favorite little characters ever. But honestly, I do need to pick up.
Yeah, Les played it. He says B tier.
That's what's up. No,
that's about what I would expect out of Pikmin is B tier.
Yeah.
All right, well, CLS, I'll take your word for it. We'll throw it in the B tier. Nintendo always puts out quality, day one games unless they're Pokemon. So I bet this game released properly. I didn't hear any massive complaints about it. The people on Twitter that did talk about it, which weren't many, but they were talking. They were enjoying it. But Pikmin fans are gonna enjoy it. So,
hell yeah.
But Redfall, on the other hand.
I have a
who?
What game?
Never
loathed it.
It never happened. It never happened.
Yeah, I streamed it too because I like to torture myself at times for the amusement of others, and that was one of them.
Here's how my thoughts on when I was making the little avatars down here to put for these rankings. None of the Redfall ones that I was trying to pull from Google Images would even load to proper quality. They were all pixelated. And if that doesn't fucking encapsulate what happened with Redfall when it launched.
You know what?
Trying to forget.
Hot take. I think, yes, Redfall was in a pitiful state when it launched. Yes, it was a subpar game. Yes, it could have been so much more. But yes, I did force cannoli, first of all. We both had a lot of fun playing it together because of how broken it was. So
how much alcohol did you drink?
None. I was completely sober, actually. So I rank this as a C tier just because I had so much fun playing it with friends.
Oh.
That's
okay. Here's the thing. Here's the elephant in the room that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Most shit can be at least kind of fun when you do play with friends. Admittedly, so.
Yes.
Like depending on your friend group.
Okay, then let me rephrase this. Even when I played it on my own, I still had a reasonable amount of fun because I was collecting shit for when
Cannoli says actually playing co-op was fun.
Yeah, we co-opted it. We had a lot of fun with it. But I admit though that it has a lot of problems. Like it was really bland. It wasn't well put together. It was buggy as fucking hell. There are quite a few times where like we glitched out or bugged out or the game crashed. All the missions.
All your characters look like they get instant applications to Harvard.
Yeah, and like all the missions were really repetitive when it really should have been an opportunity to take advantage of how much you could do with vampires. So like there's a lot of reasons why I was disappointed with it, and objectively it is a bad game, but I had fun with it even then. So
I'm looking at this more like I say this all the time. One of my favorite movies is Basket Case. Basket Case is an objectively bad movie, but I love it. That's I'm like the Basket Case of gaming is what I'm getting at. This game is so
okay. So then we'll put it at D tier. I think D tier is a good because we all we admit that it's objectively a bad game. So
right, it's not a Nita Sarkeesian tier.
It's not. It's not woke or anything like that. It's just bland and broken. That's all.
This next game is interesting. I really want to hear. Like, obviously, anyone can jump in, but Cass is the one who does next game. I'm interested in her thoughts. It's the Bayonetta Origins game.
Oh my god, bro, leave me alone.
Honestly,
yeah, let's talk about it.
Bayonetta died after 2. Like no. Once 3 came out, I'm sorry, bro, but like 3 pisses me off so bad on so many fundamental levels. First off, it was in development hell for years, and I was dying for this game. After 2 is an amazing fucking hack and slash game. I love Bayonetta 1 and 2. They're some of my all-time favorite video games, and I've played through them multiple times. 3, however, is this attempt at like being like, well, let's put the hack and slash a little bit to the side. Let's try to do this Godzilla shit and make it work on a Switch and where the frame rate is absolutely dog shit atrocious and the visuals are an insane downgrade from even the first Bayonetta. And then after that, it's like, oh, well, I played that for 3 hours and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not subjecting myself to fucking torture. And then we have Bayonetta Origins, which is an entirely different thing altogether. And it's like, okay, like, it's cool that you're giving Bayonetta an origin story. I think that she's one of those characters that's like, that is truly underrated, but it's not a hack and slash game. What the fuck y'all doing over there? Like, I didn't even buy it. I'm sorry. It just pisses me off.
So I haven't played this game, but I love the art direction. Yes, it's not a hack and slash game, but spin-offs, I mean, again, Resident Evil's had a million spin-offs. Spin-offs are a normal thing. I think this game visually is genuinely a treat to look at. I don't know if that saves it.
Honestly, you're not wrong. To me, I'm just mad of the general direction Bayonetta's gone in, and that's a lot of my general criticism. But objectively speaking, I think that the art style is nice.
Jim Harris' Triple C is mad. Yeah, Bayonetta gets her going. I was stoked to hear what she had to say about Origins. I didn't realize you didn't play
it. Was a Switch release only, right? The third one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I never played. I really liked the first one. Loved the first game. Never got around to the second one, but that's a shame.
Well, the thing is, with Bayonetta 2, it wouldn't have existed unless Nintendo stepped in. So, in that regard, normally exclusivity kind of just generally sucks. But in this instance, if Nintendo didn't step in, Sega would have let Bayonetta die, like they did multiple of their franchises.
Yeah, because the first one didn't actually sell very well, did it? Like, it was well received by gamers, but it didn't do good numbers.
I mean, honestly, it sold over 1 million copies by back then standards. That's not necessarily bad.
That was over a couple years, though. That wasn't the first year.
Yeah.
It was out. Yeah.
No, you're not wrong about that. Yeah. But generally speaking, it's not. It wasn't an underperformer. You know, Sega, you're just like I always say, like Sega is just your really cheap uncle that's even cheap with themselves. So.
I can't help but love them. It's the
same situation with Platinum Games. You know how many times I go to bat for Platinum Games just for them to literally shit on my forehead? Like,
but guess what? Sega actually wants to make games now, so let them make games.
Dude, we'll be coming back and doing this at the end of 2024 after that Sega collection drops. And it's just going to be bang S, bang S, bang S. Like, you telling me that Crazy Taxi and Golden Ass
Golden Ass, that'd be an interesting
Golden Ass. Listen, we're slapping all the golden asses.
Jim Harrison says the only Sega games I love were Yakuza 0. I mean, now I haven't played a lot of the modern Yakuza games, but like back in I played all the ones that were on like PS2 and whatnot. None of the Yakuza games were great.
Yeah.
Maybe Yakuza 4, was that the and 4 and below were all on PS2?
I would play them if they were in English.
I think 5 is also no, I'm wrong. I think 4 was on the PS3, if I'm not.
Okay,
honestly,
maybe
I don't know too much about
I played 3. I know I played 3 and 4 for sure, and was like because I was watching my dad play them, and they were super cool, and he let me play them. And I remember, the line that got me that made me want to play these games. I'm watching my dad, and one of the characters goes, "You're an asshole," and the guy goes, "What'd you call me? You're wrong." He's like, "You're right. You're not an asshole. You're a piece of shit." And the line delivery is just so bad because voice acting back then. I was like, I need to play this. And I was not disappointed, but I didn't keep up with the series after that.
Gotcha. Honestly, getting back to the Bayonetta spinoff, I just think it was a poor decision over a franchise that has struggled in sales to then do a spinoff that doesn't directly cater to the small fan base that you have. So
is it then D tier or Anita Sarkeesian tier?
Honestly, I can't objectively give it a proper score. I did not play the game. Matter of fact, when they announced
no one in chat played this game either.
I guess don't play.
But that's the thing. Nobody's playing the game because it's all like Bayonetta has a niche audience already. Then you made this thing that doesn't appeal to the main audience that you have. So then, yeah, of course it's a didn't play because nobody fucking played it. Like.
So didn't play tier.
Yes. Objectively, because it could be an awesome game. I actually heard from someone that it is a really good game. But when they announced it, I was so instantly turned off. I didn't see any gameplay for it besides the initial announcement trailer. I refuse to give it the time of day. So I can't sit here and say that it's a bad game. I don't know.
All right.
See, if Hypno ever needs to replace Ryan with another racist British guy, I'm always available. I know you were British Johnny Box reviews. Bayonetta. There we go. Well, she's young in this game. I don't know if she's underage or not, but we'll just move on to Hi-Fi Rush.
S tier. No question. S tier.
Hell yeah, S tier.
Yeah.
Is everyone on the same page? Like, we can start this game off a little bit if we want, but this is literally
S tier.
Probably the game I had the most fun with, like genuine fun in all of 2023.
Yeah,
the best Xbox game to come out this year as exclusive for them.
Yeah, you're not lying. It is. I think that it deserves all the praise that it's gotten. It's one of those where it's like it was this stealth drop that Xbox really needed at the time because people were kind of fed up with their bullshit, and then they were just like, hey, by the way, you can go play this on Game Pass right now, and it turns out to be this fucking banger that plays really well out the gate, and honestly, beautiful game. Tango Gameworks, man, they've been known for like horror over the past, few games that they've dropped, and to see them depart and have this different viewpoint, or at least going at gaming from a different angle than what they've been used to, it's really awesome and refreshing to see. I think that they're a developer doesn't get their just due, honestly.
I completely agree. Like I love Tango Gameworks, but again, I thought I was biased because again, Shinji Mikami, but genuinely, I've never played a Tango Gameworks game that I did not enjoy. And whether it be this Evil Within, and this game took me by surprise. And that being a musician, I can play all the key instruments in a band. I love rhythm games already, but they added this a lot of games that do the anime aesthetic look generic as shit in my opinion, but this is very notably, like, it's got its own unique art style with the cell shading, the combat with all different combos, so fun. At first when I was playing the game, I was like, man, this is very simple combos, but then you get 2-3 levels in, you start racking up some change, and you can start buying combos or buying more skill sets. Like, oh fuck, I can do all these crazy change ups, and it has been just awesome. The replay value is absolutely there. There's a bunch of shit to do after you beat the game. There's more ways to explore levels. There's costumes you can collect. There's a bunch of different bonus menus, like arcade modes and new game modes in general. Like, there's a shit ton of replayability and post game content. What's up, Jake? Nice to see you.
I fucking loved this game. I didn't expect to like it at all. I just kind of decided to give it a chance because rhythm games, I fucking suck at rhythm games.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah,
but like once I got a hang of it, like I non-stopped this game for a very long time, and it was like all I could talk about in the MMM chat I have. They're just fun to play it, and then Cannoli really liked it as well. But I'm going to disagree on the one point you did make about Xbox not putting out, because they put out some really good bangers at the end of 2022, in my opinion. I know that not everyone is an indie gamer, so it just kind of went off of the radar, but like, loved Scorn. Scorn is a top 10 game. Pentiment, also a top 10 game for me.
God.
Oh my god.
You're like the second person that I know that goes to bat for Scorn. All I see when I look at the game is just
I bought the deluxe edition.
It's just alien dick and balls everywhere. That's literally the game.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Look at this shit.
No,
if you're a heterosexual female, you know what? You can have that.
I think Scorn looks incredible. Like, I didn't play a lot of Scorn because I got bored with Scorn in terms of gameplay perspective, but visually it was awesome. I spent a lot more time watching Scorn stuff on YouTube than I did actively playing the game, just because it's so, again, from a design standpoint, from an artistic standpoint, it was like, hey, Todd McFarlane, make a video game. Like, that's how it felt. If you know anything about Todd McFarlane's work in the toy industry, like, it is.
Listen, all y'all saying that Scorn was terrible, you just didn't get it. You just didn't get it.
I get it. I love weird, disgusting shit. I love Hellraiser.
Here's why Scorn gets such a bad rap. Honestly speaking, this is an objective opinion.
Kick her out.
When they showed it off, they didn't communicate what type of game it was properly.
Yes,
I agree. I thought it was going to be a horror game. That's one of the reasons I was disappointed.
Yeah, so like naturally when it came out, and people were like, "This is like a puzzle game," and I was like, "What the fuck?"
It's not scary.
And then what also has the negative thing to it is that it was the only Xbox, like the only pushed Xbox game to come out in 2022. So that really just made and it's this very, very, very niche title. They fucked themselves in 2022, honestly.
Well, okay. I mean, I didn't see the original launch reveal trailers for this game, so I think that's also why I wasn't bothered by that.
Yeah,
I think I saw
it was one of the last E3s ever. I'm pretty sure it was where
it was.
So that actually was the one. That's whatever.
Was it the last E3?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that's probably why I don't, or at least I don't remember it. And then they put out another trailer. I think that was like during this like summer of 2022. I was like, yo, this looks fucking, because Alien is top 5 movie for me, right? I like puzzle games. I liked what it was trying to do. I thought there was a lot of depth to it behind the gameplay. So that's what, like, it appeals to like my movie critic side as well. There you go. So for me, that's why I love Scorn, because it blends two different worlds for me really well. But I can understand if you were sold one thing many years prior and you got a puzzler instead. Then, like, my husband fucking hated it. He's like, "Why are you fucking playing this game?" I'm like, he almost fucking broke our controller when I needed help with one part. I'm just like, listen, just let me take care of this. Then you're too frustrated. But I love it. That's like, Scorn's a top 10 game for me, just because it hits all the notes that I want personally.
I wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it. I like weird, creepy shit like Hellraiser and fucked up shit. I really wanted to like it. Like, oh, this is gonna be a good horror game. I played 5 minutes. Like, this is not fucking scary at all. Delete.
Well, so, that's where I'm good. Like, I think that puzzle games, like some of my favorite franchises, Resident Evil, Legend of Zelda, both are action/horror games that are equally, at least old Resident Evil, puzzle games. Like the original Zelda games, they are just as much action adventure as they are puzzle. Resident Evil, just as much horror as they are puzzle. I don't think I've ever played a puzzle game that's just puzzles that kind of stands on its own throughout the whole game. It gets repetitive. Like Sonic Frontiers, there's a lot of, now granted, they're very easy puzzles. It's a Sonic game, it's made for kids, but there's a lot of puzzle elements to it, but it's also still a platformer plus a bit of an open world. Sonic Frontiers did a lot of stuff, actually, but the point is, I don't think Scorn had enough to stand on its own in the long term, because I do like it. I'm right there with you, Vex. I like it, but I acknowledge it's like a 6 out of 10 in my opinion.
I was disappointed. I was more disappointed.
It's a 9 out of 10 for me, because again, it hits every note I want it to. That's why.
I have never played a Portal game, Jim. I'm gonna be real. I'm not saying they're bad.
Yeah,
I've never played Portal or Portal 2. I love the music from those games, though.
I don't know what game we were on, by the way.
No, we went to that tangent after Hi-Fi Rush because we were talking about how Xbox had been mid. Point is, Hi-Fi Rush, flat S, no arguments. The System Shock remake. Did anyone play this?
I meant to get it.
I really
forgot about it.
But this was a digital only release, and I was like, I don't want, because it was like $50, I think, in Canadian too. So I was like, I don't want to drop that much money on a digital. But I've played the original System Shock. Absolutely love that game.
This is one of the few. We were talking earlier about how digital is bullshit. This is one of the exceptions. I would pay for a digital only release for this, just because like the cyberpunk aesthetic is my favorite fictional aesthetic. The original System Shock is one of the greatest games ever made. From what I've followed of this remake, it very much honors the original. I want to play this. I just have not had the opportunity.
I played the demo on Steam and I was impressed, but like, honestly, this year funds have been limited, so that's one that's like on my to-buy list that I will probably be purchasing soon. I'm actually waiting for the Steam winter sale with some new funds, baby. So we'll see what happens.
Have you played the original?
No, I haven't.
I think you're gonna love the story. Once you get this game and play through it, I want you to.
It's what
think of the story.
It's what inspired BioShock.
Yeah, that I do know. I do know the general lore behind it. And from the demo I played, I was thoroughly impressed. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm not really aware of the developers, but I heard from people that are really into System Shock that it's super close to the original, which is really awesome to hear. I was kind of, I wish that almost because of that it got more recognition, but I think it was only a PC release, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see it come on. It comes to the console.
Yeah, I think the original was also only PC, so.
Honestly, I hope that it makes it to different platforms so people get to have that experience.
Yeah, I'd like it to come to the consoles, because my PC can't exactly handle games most of the time, unfortunately.
Real angry Canadian. The reason Fire Emblem was in C is because the chat was very divided on it. Some people loved it, while others said it was awful. So I figured, well, meet in the middle. Average median would be C tier, because the chat was divided on Fire Emblem Engage. I have not played Fire Emblem Engage, despite being a massive Fire Emblem fan, so I let the chat sort of take the reins on that one. So that is why you see Fire Emblem in the C tier.
Yeah.
Okay, let's so System Shock I'm going to throw in never played, but very excited to play. Here we are. I know Cass will have opinions on this one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
D tier.
Yeah, D tier.
Really?
All right. Excellent opinions as well. I wasn't expecting that. Let's hear it.
I think it's a C. I think it's a C. It's better. Look, the reason why I enjoyed the game is because I really wanted to enjoy Friday the 13th when it came out, but it was such a fucking shit show that I relatively dropped it early on. To me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out and it was like, oh my god, this is like what I wanted from Friday the 13th when it first came out, but it was anything but that. And as a Texas Chainsaw fan, I think that the devs really held to the lore and introduced new characters that I didn't hate. So that's impressive. So I don't know. I think it's a C. I enjoyed it. I played the shit out of the game.
Like I do agree with you on the lore part because my husband is a diehard Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. So we played it together, had just infinite issues trying to get into a lobby to play together, which was one thing. And honestly, it just felt a lot like a Dead by Daylight clone. And like not in a good way because I also think Dead by Daylight is some shite. So that's why
I hate Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I put it at a D just because with Texas Chainsaw, I felt like there was a better avenue you could take that franchise if you're translating the game, and instead they just defaulted to a Dead by Daylight copy and paste. So that's why I put it at D tier.
But graphically, like they nailed the fucking visuals thing. It looks just like the fucking. I'll give that credit.
Honestly,
where it does right is visuals. Like it looks just like the fucking movie.
If you watch the OG movie and look at where things are placed, this game goes as far as to closely mimic everything as close as possible. It truly is genuinely impressive from a perspective of being a fan of the original film.
It's more challenging.
I comment real quick on what Vex said though about being a Dead by Daylight clone because now, first of all, I do like Dead by Daylight, but I don't play it often. I enjoy it when I'm in the mood for it. I think that the game that was a Dead by Daylight clone that does work is the Evil Dead game because it respects the lore. It adds all these different versions of characters. I think the Evil Dead works because it's not only is it horror, but that franchise is equal parts action, so you can sort of do that. With Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I haven't played it, but I would have liked to see something more like Outlast, like a legit survival sort of.
That's what I'm talking about. That would have been far better for that franchise.
Yeah, it would. It would have been. It would have been.
All right, so where are we settling on Texas Chainsaw Massacre then? We got
D.
D. Sorry, Cass, you're outvoted. We got 2 D's in here. All right. Okay, this game, I never played it. It looked very interesting. Horizon.
I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't vote on this.
No.
I don't give a fuck.
Fuck that forehead. I'm out of here.
Yeah, everyone told me that it got a lot more politically motivated in some of the things. They made Alloy very annoying in this second one.
No, not Horizon like Horizon Zero Dawn. It was called like DLC. Horizon King of the Mountain or something.
What is this? Hold on.
It was a VR game.
I never heard of it.
Horizon.
I thought it was the Forbidden. I thought it was the Forbidden West DLC.
Yeah.
Nobody here has VR. I think.
Call of the Mountain.
Yeah, I don't have VR.
Yeah.
Let's not even waste time. Just didn't play.
Gotcha. Okay. I assume there were some VR players in here. My bad. Either way, I thought it looked interesting, but yet we'll just throw it and didn't play.
I think I'm scared. I'm scared of VR. I feel like I'm gonna have a seizure and die, so I've been avoiding it for a while.
I'm gonna give Lies of P A tier.
You say A tier? Okay, I say S, but I want other people's opinions. So you got an A and an S.
I only give it A tier because the Souls-like gameplay is not my cup of tea. So I struggled quite a bit just with like the barely there first boss fight.
Yeah, D.
Even with that, I was like, yo, this is actually like the gameplay is very smooth. I like what they're trying to do with reinventing the Pinocchio story. I thought graphically it was very good. Like it performs well, like logistically. So that's why I rank it at A tier.
I've never played a Souls-like game or a Souls game except for what I told you earlier about Drunk Souls. That was literally my only experience with a Souls-like game ever. So this is my first Souls-like, and it blew me away.
That's what's up. I didn't play it, but I watched so many of my friends play it. once again, shout out to Blaze, 4K, Eastern Conference Gaming. Definitely a lot of people resigned. Some of my homies in the Discord, and honestly, the game came out day one flawlessly.
Yeah.
The visuals are super impressive. I really like the designs of the enemies. My only complaint is that Pinocchio looks like a bitch, but
yeah, I
honestly,
don't
I
play
think
he,
there's
she,
so many
Pinocchio. I'm good.
there's so many things that this game does that the industry just takes for granted now. So I'm so glad to see this game having gotten so much praise from a developer that nobody really knows about. The fact that a developer that's unknown got this much wide scale popularity overnight from releasing a game day one that was fucking awesome in every like general perspective, like all the props to them, man.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think so. This was made in Unreal Engine 5, which so was Atomic Heart, and this game does the opposite. Because I had that complaint earlier that Atomic Heart is it's too realistic looking. It doesn't have its own art style. This game proves that even in Unreal Engine 5, when things are supposed to be super realistic, you can have an art style that very much is. You look at Liza P and you know it's Liza P. You're not going to confuse this with literally any even games with a similar steampunk aesthetic. You know this is Liza P. Unlike whereas Atomic Heart I think looks earlier very generic. So I'm also impressed at what they did with the development side of giving this game its own visual identity.
So what's the consensus then? Chat seems to not like this.
I'll say B. I'll say B. I'll say B.
I say A.
Well, I said S, but I'll knock it down to A. Like we'll meet in the middle.
I just think it's just another Souls game.
See, but I don't think it's just another Souls game because I've never played a Souls game before, and I fell in love with this. So I'm not looking at it as a first time player who's never played a Souls game. It hooked me because of its gameplay, because of its story, because of its visuals. So it wasn't just another Souls game; it stood on its own.
Yeah,
I will say this game earned the respect of a lot of Souls fans. The only people that didn't, only Souls fans that didn't like it didn't play it, from what I've seen. So
Xeno says, "Get good, Oz."
No, but like honestly, it earned the respect of Souls fans while also being different from the Soulsborne, thing, just enough for it to stand on its own. So I think on that, because like Souls fans, they shit on they shit on clones. They really do.
They go hard.
And they do. Anything that isn't made by that studio, they tend to just absolutely not even give the time of day and go out of their way to destroy. So the fact that this one earned their respect while being different is impressive in its own right.
Well, and one of my best friends, my roommate, actually, he almost exclusively just plays Nintendo games because he's not a big gamer. He was when he was a kid. So modern Nintendo gives him that same nostalgia and comfort as the games he played when he was younger and whatnot. But he played Liza P and fucking loved it. I had never seen him get into a modern game like I saw him get into Liza P. And so to take someone who doesn't play anything other than like happy-go-lucky, kid-friendly nostalgia games, get into Liza P, just anecdotally, I think that has a lot to say about how well the game was done for an outsider. So, yeah, I'm going to go A. I think A is fair.
Hey, like I say, Game Pass is on a roll, baby. Look at that.
Yeah, that's true. Payday 3. Now, I've never played a Payday game, but these games have these have a weird reputation. Like I'm not. Did anyone play Payday 3? Because again,
yes.
I only know these games by reputation.
Yes.
What were your thoughts?
Trash.
Damn.
Okay, but why was
that? Okay, so I didn't play this, even though I had Game Pass at the time, and the reason why is because everyone was saying it was broken as fuck day one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have the time for
or patience.
Okay, so yeah.
Payday 2, I had a lot of fun, but like again, it's one of those games that you have to play it with other people, otherwise you're not going to enjoy it, right? So I mean, Payday 2 for what it was kind of fun. I didn't think that they needed to make another Payday game because even from 1 to 2, it's not like they reinvented the wheel that much. So I didn't bother with this one. But yeah, I heard it was broken. I heard that it didn't do anything new. It was a pretty useless like entry into the thing. There were a lot of apologies that the developer put out too because of the state of the game. So I don't know, we can put it in a D tier or we can put it in the didn't play tier.
Now let's go to the Nita start. Man, like you didn't like it. He's on, fucking Oz is out here saying trash. We got Vassal saying burning garbage. This is going in the Nita start.
Okay, here.
Hey, nice to see you, wait. Taylor, appreciate you for showing up.
But I thought the Anita Sarkeesian tier was more for like, the
either incredibly woke or literally unplayably bad. Either of those two, because I don't have an F tier. I didn't put an F tier on here, so
okay.
But
the game is legitimately, at least when it came out, unplayable, and to me that is a cardinal sin for an online only game to not be playable because of the online experience.
Then why do you have Redfall up there? Then you should put that down there too.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, Redfall was clearly playable because we had people in chat saying they were at least able to play it.
Yeah, it was bad.
But now this game had this came and gone like a fart in the wind, in my opinion. Was Remnant 2. Like I saw people get hyped about it.
Yeah, I didn't like the first one.
All right. I want to play this, but didn't get around to it. So.
And that's so basically what I'm hearing is a lot of people were hyped for it, and then once it actually came out, I didn't see anyone fucking talk about it.
I don't know, like Remnant is one of those where it's not as popular as people as you may think it is. Like honestly, Remnant 2 was like it has a cult. Like Remnant generally has a cult following. What's really interesting about Remnant 2 is the reality that not everyone's going to start in the same place. And how really insane it is. I was watching some of my friends play this, and I'm like, I need to get this. Like, I really do, and I plan to get it. And you could tell it's a genuine step up from the first game in a lot of different ways. So, on that perspective, it's really cool to see. And people consider it like a Souls-born shooter.
Yeah, I don't like Souls games, so really? I tried it, man. Yeah, I don't like it.
That's
you try these games knowing that you're going to hate them.
Yeah, you're not a very objective reviewer right now. Come on.
It was Souls related. Fuck off.
Like Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, look, it wasn't for me, but objectively, it's a great game. It's like I has no idea how to do that.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. It's ass.
There's always got to be one. Who'd have thought we'd bring the women on here? They'd be the ones being objective, and then we'd get a man thinking emotionally. Yeah. Way to break down gender norms.
Fuck that. It sucks. Next.
Well, next, so Remnant 2, we're gonna I guess put in didn't play. Is that what it is? That the consensus? Or, next one, RoboCop, baby.
RoboCop,
baby. I want to play it. I really want to play it.
Oh
I want to play this as well. I heard nothing but good things, especially from RoboCop fans.
Literally, between Cass and Cannoli, dude, I've only heard praise for this game.
Yeah.
Honestly, this game, if you're,
Thor says he's acting objectively female.
Facts. Like what gets me with this game more than just speaking about how it's super nostalgic, more than just how well it encapsulates the RoboCop universe. From a gamer's perspective, this was like, as a kid, I was dying for games that were super destructive, that were super bloody, violent. Like I was a bad kid. Like I wanted like this for me. If this game came out when I was like 10 years old, it would have been like my wet dream as a kid. Like it just. The destruction in the game is amazing. When you kill people, it's so satisfying. It is so sick, man. The customization for the gun, you could turn, RoboCop's gun into like an automatic, a shotgun, a sniper. Like they really did a lot of cool stuff here. So, like, honestly speaking, it's not just the nostalgia. It's just a basic fundamental understanding of what a gamer wants when they're playing a first-person shooting game. So they killed it.
So, well, I'm going to loop this back to doing earlier when the first games. I said that when you're doing a licensed game, it's increasingly difficult because you need to do two things: make a genuinely good game as well as a good encapsulation of the source material. It sounds like RoboCop did that as well. So I mean, if Dune's an A, I would think RoboCop should also be an A.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think A is awesome
Yeah.
for this game.
All right, RoboCop going to that A tier, and chat seems to agree. Chat was just sucking this game off. I mean, we got Vasnum saying A, Alex Moore saying A, Zeno put out a fucking novel. This may not be objectively S tier, but it's a double A studio. The charm they love for the source material really shines through. Plus, it's just a really fun game at the end of the day. Like apparently, again, I thought Noli was loving this game when he was playing it. So. Yeah, all in all, I think RoboCop definitely earns its spot up there in A. Good year for licensed games between Baldur's Gate, that's technically a D&D license, Dune, RoboCop. I mean, we all remember the days when licensed game meant dead on arrival.
Yeah, really.
I mean, there was a time where licensed games were good. There used to be more, so then it would be like, there would be the ones that are shit and then the ones that are good. But like, there's a lot of licensed games that I bought back in the day that were awesome.
Like the PS3 era where they started to just all be generic garbage. At least that's my
the PS1, PS2 era did it really well, and then it started to get into like a really, like you said, generic by PS2.
Yeah, because Spider-Man 2 for the PS2 is to this day considered one of the best Spider-Man games ever made. That's a licensed movie game. I memean, again, you can go on. Like, I agree. PS1 and PS2 games. I remember there was an M&M kart racer for the PS1. I don't know if it was actually good or not, but as a kid, I enjoyed playing it more than I enjoyed playing Crash Bandicoot. Like the Crash Bandicoot kart racer. Like M&M games, it was probably just literally a clone, but still, I liked the M&M's kart racer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CLS Star Wars games used to be good. Battlefront 2, Revenge of the Sith. I mean, there's so many incredible Star Wars games.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, technically, The Witcher is technically a licensed game. That is true.
Yeah.
M&M's like the candy. Just one.
Mom spaghetti just all over the place when you lose.
Yeah.
All right. This one is for Vex. Romancylvania. I don't know what this is, but name alone.
What the fuck is that?
Tell me about Romancylvania.
B tier. Okay, so this is a dating simulator game. Okay.
Oh fucking Christ!
I like dating sims if they're done well. So tell me more.
So essentially, you play as Dracula. You can either be a female or male version of Dracula.
You suck.
And he's very lonely. So he employs the help of basically the Grim Reaper to try and find him a soulmate. And so it dives into this weird platformer that also the story part is just it's a dating show. So you go through all these different like varieties of monsters that he can potentially pair up with. 3D it's a platformer like
this
across the screen. Right.
Yeah, what do you set us? It sounds fucking hilarious.
Right. You're just like you're killing skeletons and ghouls and stuff as like you.
What's this shit called?
Story.
What's this shit called?
Romancylvania.
What the fuck
is this a Game Pass game?
No, I bought this full price.
Wow.
I mean, to be fair, I'm always down for a good platforming game. And again, like Persona, I love romance. I love dating sims when they're interspersed with other gameplay. So if you've got like a dating sim added into a platformer, this I won't lie, this genuinely sounds fun. I
gotta say though, like it does like if you're used to a certain standard from like say just AAA gaming. Like the cutscenes are a little bit off because it looks like they weren't able to get the angle right on like some of the shots they did. Even then, like the character design and the artwork is very simple, but even then, it still has its own style to it, which I can appreciate. Some of the boss fights are actually kind of challenging, which is appreciated. I found out about this game in 2021. There we go. And then they released a trailer last year, and I was like, "Oh, day one, I'm gonna be there." So I bought it straight away as soon as it released, but. This was a lot of fun. I had fun with it.
All right, I'll happily throw it in the B tier for you, and we will check it out. Also, I want to highlight a comment. I want Cass's opinion on it because I agree with this, but Cass has a thing against concept art. Jacob Ironside says, I'm not a gamer, but I'm an artist. I love looking at concept art for video games. It's cool to hear how these games live up to the concept art. Cass had a hot take about concept art a couple days ago, so let's go ahead and hear your response to this.
So, I mean, you have to understand, I'm not an artist. I look at things purely from a gamer's perspective, and I'm the scorned gamer. Bro, there's games.
Scorn, apparently.
Yeah, there's games that have fake gameplay. I mean, that's faked to sell you on a game. So the fact that we're gonna sit here and debate concept art when there's games that have sold you on complete total fucking lies, like, is insane to me. Because like we've been lied to so many times. What was that game, Oz, that you were super hyped for? The looter shooter. I forget what it's called, but that was a damn. He probably went to the bathroom or something.
When did it come out?
It was the BioWare game that completely Anthem. The gameplay, the gameplay they showed off on the reveal was a lie. It wasn't real gameplay. So like, we're in an industry where they'll sell you on fake gameplay. If you're not showing me gameplay for a reveal, then I can't even remotely take you seriously. And even that could be a complete total lie. So if you're gonna show me concept art in an industry like this that sells you on complete total lies, I'm sorry, I can't have a conversation. I don't even want to see CGI, reveal trailers. I think that is a complete waste of my time too, not for nothing. So
but
that's my perspective.
Brought back though, Cass, concept art as unlockables. I loved it when games did that. When you would go through, you meet certain requirements, then I would look at concept art. I'd try and redraw it and shit. Like, concept art is great if the game justify it as like a bonus feature.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, I like the concept art after the fact, because I'm on the same page as Cassie here. Just like, if you're not showing me gameplay, I really don't care about it, because it also depends on the type of game. If you're selling me a story game and you're just showing me story footage, then sure, I'll be okay with that. But if you're not giving me any sort of gameplay, then I'm very suspicious, because we have been scorned so many times. But I'm okay with,
there it is again.
I'm okay with artwork afterwards, though. Like, I like seeing whether a game performs like well or not well. I do like to see afterwards, like, what was the inspiration behind all this? How did they get to the product that we got? So I would say it's better as an aftermath as opposed to an appetizer. There you go.
I'm sorry. What did you ask me? I had to tinkle.
She couldn't remember she couldn't remember the name of Anthem.
Yeah, well, I thought about it.
Oh, Anthem sucks balls.
Yeah.
All right, so this next one, I don't know if anyone's gonna have opinions on. I technically shouldn't even qualify for this list, but again, my show, fuck you guys. Sonic Frontiers. Now, technically, this game came out in November of 2022, but it had multiple free updates throughout 2023, with the third update literally overhauling the last third of the game. And because a lot of people's complaint was that the game was really good up till the third act, and then it was sort of anticlimactic. And Sega heard that, and they went in, overhauled the entire third act, and then gave it to you for free. And as somebody that already liked Sonic Frontiers, thought it was a solid 7 out of 10, is literally upped it to an 8 out of 10 for me.
Really?
It was the difficulty spike was like old school Genesis. They're like, oh, you guys want a better third act? Here you go. We're going to give you Knuckles, Tails, and Amy to play as, and make it one of the hardest Sonic the Hedgehog experiences you've ever experienced. Have fucking fun. All for free. So I'm adding this to the list because I could not believe that Sega went out there and took, like, the original Sonic Frontiers is the best C tier game you'll probably ever play. Or that's the best way to put it. This literally knocks it up to a B, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Sonic Frontiers is awesome. CLS Studio, B tier. I would say S. Yeah, Eddie Remon says B. Yeah, it was. I just wanted to highlight that a free update that overhauls 30% of the game can make such a massive difference.
That is pretty impressive. So shout out to them for that.
I'll pick it up for cheap, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, the game's been out for over a year now. I bet you can find it on sales and stuff like that.
It was $20 during Black Friday.
Was it?
Went on sale Black Friday,
absolutely worth it. Like, Sonic Frontiers has been one of the best Sonic games in years, 3D at least Sonic games in years. And as a massive Sonic fan that's been disappointed since like 2011, I was so happy. Music S, gameplay S, story B.
Yeah.
I would not say the gameplay is an S. Sonic Adventures gameplay is S. This is
I like the music. From what I heard.
Here. It had great music. But the gameplay was far better than Sonic games have been lately. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. Jedi Survivor, though, this game did honestly worse than Redfall at launch, in my opinion. So
Star Wars is stupid, so I didn't play this.
No, I agree. I agree with her. Star Wars is stupid.
Wait. Damn. You know what? I liked Jedi Fallen Order, but that's a game I picked up when it was like $25 on PS4 Pro. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I bought the game months after release, and Jedi Fallen Order ran like dog shit even on the PS4 Pro back then. So, yeah, I guess they didn't learn their lesson with Jedi Survivor, and it came out.
I didn't buy Fallen Order till literally years after release. Now I loved it, but I didn't buy it till a year and a half or 2 years later. So by the time I got it, it was great. I still haven't played Survivor. I don't give a fuck.
You know what? I want to play Survivor, but like to me, it's like a bargain bin. So I'll buy it maybe when it's $25 again. Because there's some things about this game that looks to be an improvement over the first one, which is cool. Because I actually enjoyed the first game. I thought it was a damn fun experience, and so I'm interested. But yeah, like honestly, games that come out fucking half baked, I do try to.
This game wasn't even half baked. They literally made the dough and said, "Here, eat it."
It wasn't even dough. It was just like some flour, baby eggs. That's it. Making yourself
water.
Zeno says, massive Star Wars fan, so I need to chime in with this one because I'm surprisingly positive about something Star Wars related for a change. My faith in anything new from Star Wars is basically in the gutter, so it makes it even better that Survivor was an absolute blast from start to finish. Great combat exploration and characterization. Hey, nice to see you, Cass. Not the Cass that I'm streaming with, but this other Cass. Appreciate you for showing up, girly.
Zeno, you're the only person I've ever heard say something positive about Jedi Survivor.
But you know what? He's not in anybody that has played it, the general consensus is there's something great here. It just runs like ass. And that's the shame of it.
Not only that, but the additional consensus is that I was seeing people say shit positively about it 3 or 4 months later. So, you know, if you wanted to wait the 3 or 4 months for the game to get fixed, then maybe it did have a good story and good characters. But by that point, no one gave a fuck. They were already
the damage had been done.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's possible that the game did end up becoming good. We saw it happen with Cyberpunk, for example. Technical problems led to me not playing it. CLS's gameplay is C. Alex says he played it, but does not give us an opinion. Yes, I agree. You should probably play it just because you're a great gamer.
I'm definitely getting it. It's just that I want to make sure that the PC version runs well. I mean, I have a 3080 now. You know, earlier this year I was running a 3060, so things were questionable for me. But 3080, if the game runs, it doesn't. If the game runs, it'll run on a 3080 nicely. If the game don't run, it ain't gonna fucking run. Like
Angry says he bought it this month, no bugs, runs smooth. Now, I don't know about this. Feels like a spiritual successor to Jedi Knight shit. Jedi Knight was one of the greatest Star Wars games of all time. So,
she
can almost fly out with the bill on that cap. They didn't even half-ass it. They no-assed it. If Stimfield is higher than Jedi Survivor, I'll riot. Zeno knows what's up. Same feelings from me. Appalling release date, but a fantastic game overall. Gave me some Star Wars that didn't make me roll my eyes. See, and okay, so here we're going to come into an interesting question because everyone who's a Star Wars fan, a real Star Wars fan, not a Disney wannabe Star Wars fan, is sick of Star Wars. So how many people are just happy that this game is, you know, a good Star Wars game, and how many people are happy that it's actually a good game? Because that's right with Sonic Frontiers. Man, I will full on tell people, if you're a Sonic fan, this game's like a 10. But in reality, objectively, it's like a 7. So I had to separate my Sonic fandom from my general gamer fandom to be objective. I'm wondering if Star Wars fans are doing the same thing. Is this a great Star Wars game because Star Wars has sucked? Or is it, even let's say Star Wars had stayed good, would this still be considered a good game? I'm not sure.
Jedi Fallen Order to me is a good game. You know, it honestly is. So I hear that this game is better in terms of its offering than even Fallen Order. So I'm excited. I really am excited to play the game, and I'm not a really big Star Wars fan. I was a late bloomer when it comes to Star Wars. For the longest, I actually kind of resented it because I was the Star Trek head. Like I grew up on Star Trek, so. You know, I'm not like the one that's like, oh man, like I have the rose tinted glasses for anything Star Wars that gets it right. No, I just think that the first game's really fun, and I'm hearing that the second game is even better. So hopefully the game.
Well, considering the consensus in the chat, a lot of people are saying they really love it. Chat, where do you think it should go? Since none of us played it, go ahead and just give us where you think it goes in the tier list. We'll try and find average. Also, Lil Platoon, thanks for joining us, bud. Appreciate you seeing in here. Thanks, man.
In terms of like the question that you asked though, I think like Star Wars like movie and TV fans and game fans need to be separated in all honesty. Because like
there's people who don't watch the Star Wars movies that will go to bat for Knights of the Old Republic.
That's what I mean. And like I think just the Star Wars, just objectively speaking, as someone who doesn't like Star Wars, it just seems at this point with where they're going with the shows and the films, there's a lot more that can be explored within a more reasonable budget through gaming. And because there was that really good track record that still kind of peeks through with releases here and there, I think there's a lot more hope for Star Wars in gaming than there is in everything else, regardless of whether you're a Star Wars fan or not. So I think you need to distinguish both of those groups to make a fair assessment.
It's facts.
All right, so a lot of people, the chat's coming in strong. We've got C or B, A or B, A, but that's just for me. A, I didn't play Jedi Survivor, but AAA game that's fixed now. B seems fair. A for me.
More A's than B's, so I guess it's
I'm seeing more A's than B's as well.
Wow. That's what's up.
All right. Whites of the Old Republic.
Forward.
Whites of the Old Republic, Birth of a Nation.
No, the chat is making me more hyped to want to play this game because I kind of just like it's one of those where it's like I'll just play it like in a year or two, and I forgot about it. But now you guys are making me want to see what's up for this winter sale.
Yeah, Star Wars Unleashed was fire. Code Classic Cage, Deep Space Nine, or Next Generation? There's a right answer.
Next Generation. And honestly, I'm not even. I think Next Generation is cool, but I am a very big fan of the OG Star Trek. Like you can't fucking it like that. I'm sorry, but I love OG Spock and Uhura. They're some of my all-time favorite characters. Period. So anything besides that is hard to crowbar me away from. So.
All right, well, chat consensus. We're gonna. Oh, CLS is wrong. F in the chat for Rick the Door Technician. Deep Space made me yawn. DS9. Wow. All right. So not only was the chat divided on all these games, the divide on Star Trek as well. So yeah, about par for the course of Star Trek fans. Well, look, chat consensus. We'll throw Jedi Survivor in the A tier.
Sucks ass.
Starfield. Let's everybody have some parties here. Starfield. We're gonna get some mixed opinions.
C.
You know what? I have to agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
You have to understand my journey with Starfield. I was loving Starfield, and then I played RoboCop and realized how flawed Starfield is, truly.
Okay, for me, it was more, this is not my type of game normally. So I gave it a shot because again, it was hyped up as such a huge thing. They had been working on it for so long.
Me too.
I was like, okay, it must be at least decent, even though it's not my cup of tea. There's just, I know that I don't know, maybe this will be a hot take, but I don't like just being given endless options. I like to have a little bit of a guiding hand through open worlds that big, especially.
You would not like Oblivion then.
Yeah, I haven't. I liked Oblivion actually. That was the last Elder Scrolls game I played, and I loved it. But I just couldn't get into this. I wasn't a fan of how much I needed to do in order to get like this or that. I didn't care for the plot line with the characters I did encounter. It was just bland to me. I felt if they had just made the game a bit smaller and then tighter narratively, it would have been a lot more enjoyable. But there's too much going on. That's my biggest problem with it. So I rank it as C tier.
The chat almost universally agrees. There's a few people saying D and Anita, but most of the chat is saying C. So between Cass, Vex, and the chat, all right.
It's a C. Like for me, it's not my type of game either. Like I played for about 5 minutes of it. It is one of the worst opening games. One of the worst openings.
It is.
That opening was fucking boring.
I played a lot of Bethesda's games. It is the worst opener for their open world RPG games. By far, it's not even close. But it does at least pick up from there. But yeah, Starfield's one of those where I enjoy. I enjoy what it unintentionally is. It is an unintentional. It is an unintentional spoof. if you go into this game taking it seriously for its story, you will be upset. But to me, it came off like a spoof. Like, all these characters are one big fucking joke, and I found it hilarious. So, for me, I enjoyed it thinking of it that way. But in terms of Bethesda, yeah, like, if they want to be taken seriously, they definitely need to go back to the drawing board and reassess a lot of things.
Did you see that it came out today or yesterday that Obsidian wanted to do more Fallout entries and even an Elder Scrolls entry, and Bethesda turned them down?
I mean, but look what they're doing now.
Been saying that for years. They've been saying they want to do more Fallout.
Look, fucking Obsidian did the Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is like Fallout, but in space. That's what that's you can look at what they're making and be like, yeah, clearly they wanted to do another Fallout game. Now Avowed is coming out next year, I think, and that's an Elder Scrolls with their own take. Like, you could tell where their aspirations are, and I will say, the Outer Worlds is an objectively better game than Starfield. Because
play that. That's on my playlist still. That game.
It's so good. It's genuinely an awesome.
I want to address Jim's comment right here, because I love the Fallout 3 opening. I agree. However, I know Fallout 4 gets a lot of flack. I think Fallout 4 has the best opening. When you're a husband, you think, or a wife, technically, depending on what you create. You're a husband, you think you're saving your wife and child. You're going into this vault. You're one of the very few, and then bang, wife is killed, your baby is taken. That is such a, you almost made it, you were almost safe, and then shit got even worse than, what's worse than a nuclear bomb? Lose, as a father or as a husband, losing your family. If the bomb could go off, if you all die together, hey, you all die together. But being the sole survivor, and I think that dynamic of watching your wife get gunned down and your baby get taken is so much more emotionally impactful than Fallout 3. But both are great. I actually think that while New Vegas, a lot of people say New Vegas is the best Fallout game from Bethesda / Obsidian, I actually think it's got the least emotional story. So it's fun to play, and it's a very interesting world, but it's the one I care about the least on an emotional level.
I've never played a Fallout game, so never
damn.
Well, Fallout 4, I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think the opener of Fallout 4 is one of its greatest strengths. I think it's downhill from there, to be honest with you.
As a game, I understand why people say that New Vegas is better, and I can see the argument for it. I'm not sure that I agree. It's really up in the air. I love all the Bethesda Fallout games up until 76. I haven't played. I hated 76 at launch. I've never given it a second shot. I've heard it's good. The point is, Fallout 3 and 4 both have a better opening than New Vegas, in my opinion.
Honestly, people shit on Fallout 3 more than I think it's deserved. I think Fallout 3 is a really fucking solid.
People shit on Fallout 3? What?
I've never heard this.
I've never heard that.
Because they like, there's this, this general consensus that New Vegas is the best, and because of that, they kind of, punch down on Fallout 3 for it.
I have seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Fallout 3 is a great fucking Fallout open world RPG game. I do prefer New Vegas more, but I think Fallout 3 is so close. 3
because you can't be a true New Vegas fan unless you shit on it.
I guess that is the thing. For me, I'm more objective about it, so I guess I'm a New Vegas shill. But I love 3 as well. The immense amount of choice in 3 is awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I like them all. Jim Harrison says 4 wasn't mid. It's a good game, not a good Fallout game. I guess it boils down to, what do you consider a Fallout game? Because for me, I don't care about the gameplay in Fallout. I care about the world of Fallout. And so for me, Fallout 4 is just as much a Fallout game as the original Fallout, because they both feel like they exist in the same world.
I have to severely disagree with Jim Harrison. A lot of my PTSD in gaming stems from Fallout 4. From honestly, that game was so fucking terrible from a fucking just a performance standpoint alone that it is responsible for a lot of my PTSD in gaming. Just the fact that the Brotherhood of Steel quest line.
How did I get so lucky? In my Fallout 4 worked perfectly day one.
I had multiple save glitches. The Brotherhood of Steel quest line glitched before I could even start it. I had to fight the Brotherhood of Steel. That ran at 10 fucking frames on my PS4 Pro. So, yeah, a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder with Fallout 4. So
it's because you said you also now. Granted, Final Fantasy 15 apparently was bad at launch. I didn't play it till a few years later, but yeah, I got Fallout 4 day one. I went to the midnight release. I was in line for like 6 hours. I took the next 2 days off work so that I could stay up. The only time I took a break from playing it for about 24 hours was to go get sushi with a buddy. Then we came back and played it even more. I literally did not experience anything aside from the general Bethesda things. You see something sticking through a wall that shouldn't be there or whatever, but literally game didn't crash, no glitches. Like my Fallout 4 day one experience was literally one of my favorite gaming experiences of my entire life.
See, I bought it day one and played it for like more than 50 plus hours, and then I encountered the glitch with the Brotherhood of Steel. So I put it down for years, but I wanted to finish the game, so I picked it up years later. It was still just a dog shit experience, honestly.
Damn, that is so rough. Yeah, I adore Fallout 4. I do. I've beaten the game, I think, 4 times. I recently did another run literally a few weeks ago. But let's move on to the next game. The Game Awards were too pussy to touch. Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh,
I didn't play this because I don't care about Harry Potter. I've heard very good things about it. I don't think the J.K. Rowling stuff I think is bullshit. Just play a game like a fandom. If you like it, separate art from the artist. We do it every single fucking day. Yeah. So yeah, I heard good things, but it's just not. I don't like Hogwarts. I don't like Harry Potter, so I'm not going to bother with it.
Yeah, I don't like Harry Potter. I'm good.
So I don't like Harry Potter, and I bought the game day one, mostly to just stick it to fucking losers, not for nothing. But
I saw that.
It's so hard for me to properly like explain this game in terms of how I feel about it, because I do like it, but then there's like some things about it that honestly, I didn't finish the game. I got super duper far. I'm like really close to the end. I'm really considering going back. The main reason why I dropped the game is because I hate puzzles, and this game is nothing but a fuck ton of puzzles in it.
Really?
And here's the problem.
Vex is like, okay, I'm interested. Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the problem with the puzzles. Stepping back and assessing the game on its merits and taking my personal thought process, like my likes out of it. The puzzles, there's a fuck ton of them, but they're all extremely easy. So like it's like if you're into puzzles, it's like, yeah, there's so many of them there, but they're not mentally stimulating at all. So I don't know if this appeals to people that are into puzzles either. So that's my thing about it. I don't like puzzles, so the fact that I was constantly battered with them,
gotcha,
is a turn off. They were stupid, so it's like, yeah, I can run it, like I can get through the game, but like it was just obnoxious how many puzzles were in it. But other than that, like flying around on the broom throughout the world and it's like the seamless fucking experience was insane. I like the general like feeling of making my character and it not being Harry Potter, because I think Harry Potter looks like a little fucking dork. So I just made like a 15-year-old James Dean and ran through the game like that. And so like I was into it, but the puzzles turned me the fuck off, like how many of them were there. But I think that the game's visuals were impressive. The fact that you could fly through that world just so seamlessly was impressive. I think that the combat, I was expecting the combat to be ass, but I won't say it's great combat, but I think for magic combat, I was like, oh, this actually isn't ass. It's pretty decent. That's what's up. So, you know, while I do want to go back to the game and finish it because I'm super close to the end. To me, I think it's like a B.
You're selling me on these puzzles, man. I might actually. I like puzzle games, bro. Throw puzzles at me, please.
Zeno says the Harry Potter hate must cease pronto. So I'm going to give you that, Zeno, because I actually do like Harry Potter. I hate the Harry Potter fan base, but I do like Harry Potter. So I did not play this game. I did watch, I watched Cass play it. I watched Zeno's review. Hypno played it. Like I watched a lot of people play it because I was more interested in the lore and wondering what they were going to do with the lore of Harry Potter. Because again, as a Harry Potter fan, the world is the most interesting aspect to me. And from that perspective, I loved what they did with this game. Like it was so cool to watch the way the world unfolded and looking at Hogwarts, 200 years in the past or whatever, or 150, whatever it is, And yeah, all in all, like there's some games that I don't care about. This isn't a common thing, but every now and again there'll be a game where I don't care about the gameplay, like the gameplay loop itself. Now the gameplay is egregiously bad, that's one thing, but the loop is a standard loop, like Jak and Daxter or Crash Bandicoot. Those have very standard gameplay loops, but they're fun all the way through because everything else keeps me entertained. That's how I felt like watching this, how it would feel. Like, I imagine if I play this, it's not going to be a very deep game on a gameplay perspective, but there will be enough in the world to keep me invested through the rather monotonous gameplay loop. And so I think that just based on what everyone said, the bits that I'm thinking B tier is pretty fair.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go with not, I didn't play it, so no vote for me.
Yeah, same. I didn't play it.
Harry Potter's great. Shut up, hoes. Harry Potter's stupid, but putting a phallic gun into a pussy slot to solve a puzzle isn't, Lamau.
Damn.
True.
I think puzzles is fitting for Harry Potter because a lot of diehard Harry Potter fans were nerdy sort of kid. Bingo. I think that's entirely accurate.
You know, I wasn't into Harry Potter as a kid. Matter of fact, I resented it because it was like the biggest IP of our time. And it was like, I was the kid. I was like, I'm into Dragon Ball Z. I want to see big, muscly dudes beat the fuck out of each other. You're telling me that everyone's into this fucking dork with a little wand. Like, you guys are a bunch of fucking bitches.
You grew up, everyone loved it where you grew up. You grew up in liberal New York. I grew up in bumfuck tiny Christian town where the book was banned. And my mom saying, hey, read this. It's cool. For me, like, I was the cool kid because I got to read Harry Potter. I got to watch it and whatnot. And because Harry Potter, like, our school was so Christian, despite the fact that it was a public school. Like, I didn't go to a Christian school. Our school was so Christian. They weren't allowed to have Halloween parties or dress up on Halloween. You had to call it a fall get together or something because, you know, Halloween could be offensive to Christians. Like, I grew up in that level of fucked up religious doctrine. So, yeah, I love Harry Potter growing up because it felt like the adult dark thing to be into.
I was gonna say, like, wild. Go ahead.
Because I grew up in, you know, my parents put me in private, you know, Catholic school, from like pre-K, and I guess like my school was progressive by like Christian standards because
apparently
like,
so.
People read Harry Potter very openly. Like, we were excited to get dressed up for Halloween. Like, but all of it was like, this is make believe for fun. It's a little event. Like, we didn't. Like, in my school, we never took it seriously by any means in terms of, like, relating it to our religion or, you know,
dude,
the
Yu-Gi-Oh was banned in my school because Yu-Gi-Oh was considered devil worship. I'm not even joking.
Yu-Gi-Oh was banned in my school because people were fighting over the fucking cards.
Yeah, but fighting over the cards is different than saying it's devil worship.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
Now, Vastam says that's not Christian, that's cultist. I completely agree. And it was that sort of mentality, like, growing up that turned me off to religion. Now, as an adult, I am a religious individual. I have religion. I respect a whole lot, you know, religion. But like growing up in that environment, yeah, that's what I thought Christianity was that cult-like behavior. And I hated it. And thankfully, despite all my mom's flaws, because I've said some pretty heinous things about my mother, at least, you know, she was cool enough to like not be into that sort of shit. So
I went to a Catholic private school as well, and we actually were given the first Harry Potter book in 5th grade to do as a class book report. So that was my, and like even we made like a school field trip to go see the movie in theaters too as part of that book report unit. So that was my
that's crazy. Our school field trips to see movies were like the Polar Express. Like
yeah, I don't because it was such a huge phenomenon, and it was like right when the adaptation came out, the first movie. So because it was starting to gain popularity, they're just like, oh, this is an opportunity for a field trip. So they just took advantage of it.
Yeah, that is cool when you think. Like, honestly, I shout out to like those Catholic schools that didn't stunt learning for religion, you know, like I think at that point, like anything that would inspire children to go out there and want to read, that at least my school was down with. Yeah. Because that's really what it was. It was a huge it was my mom got me the first Harry Potter. Because like it was like this phenomenon on television, was inspiring children to read. And so my like for me, I was behind as a reader when I was in like the 1st grade. So anything to get me to want to read because I was very aloof. Like I was very I would daydream a lot in school because I was just so uninterested. So anything to kind of, my mom was like, "Well, this inspires kids to read. Let me buy this for
you know." I was a nonstop reader. You couldn't get me to stop reading when I was a kid.
So here's a skip my fucking class to get out of that shit. Fuck this, I'm out. I'll watch it when I go home. I'll watch it when I go home.
All right, well, Final Fantasy Hogwarts is going to go in the B tier. Wild Hearts. Did anyone play Wild Hearts?
No. I'm meaning to try
it. No, I'm good.
I heard it's a Monster Hunter clone.
Yeah.
It looks
okay.
really impressive. Yeah. Like the monster designs are real cool, but I never played it.
It's okay.
So we'll wait to see if the chat has anything to say about it. I've got very little. Yeah, Jim Harrison says he's heard it's decent. I mean, it's just one of those games that came out this year that, again, sort of like not Returnal, Remnant 2. I heard a lot of talk leading up to it, but then when it came out, just sort of tapered off. But again, is that because the game is bad or forgettable, or is it because this year was actually a really fucking good year for gaming? Like, it actually
really was.
Like, Wild Hearts, I don't know how stacked that time period of release was, but at least for Remnant 2, like, there was a lot of stuff coming out at that time, to where Remnant 2 getting overshadowed isn't surprising to me.
Iman said here, EA stop supporting Wild Hearts. Oh, fuck it. We're just going to throw it in the didn't play and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a game I missed. I know it's on Game Pass. I'm going to play it, but hopefully some other people, whether it be here in the chat, played it. Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
I don't like it. Souls game.
I wanted to play it, never got around to it.
Yeah, I played it. I didn't beat it because I'm terrible at Soulsborne games, but it was pretty good from what I was playing.
Oh, is it Soulsborne? I thought just based on I didn't even watch any trailers. I only was reading articles, looking at still images because I didn't want to be spoiled because we so rarely get games set in this sort of sphere. I thought it was gonna be more like Dynasty Warriors.
Nope.
No, it's definitely inspired by the Souls genre or subgenre, I should say, and I think it was pretty good. You know, I like that they gave you a lot of options with creating your character. I think it's more in line with like what are those games?
You were saying that Liza P actually earned the respect of the legit Souls fans. Did this game also, or was this like shit on by Souls fans?
It earned some people over, but I think Liza P did more. It's one of those where I don't think it's as quality as Liza P, but I still think it's decent in its own right.
Okay. So either didn't play, or because Cass, you played a little bit. So would you say like C, B? Would you have?
It's a solid C. It's a decent C tier game.
Okay. So this bitch into C tier. Octopath Traveler 2. I love the first one. I adore the first one. I have not played the sequel. If it's as good as the first, then easy A tier. If anyone's actually played it, then let me know.
Yeah,
I don't like RPGs. I'm good. I don't like RPGs.
What do you like? Hold on. What do you like?
Mario.
You like Mario?
A Mario dick sucker.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't like RPGs, but he went out of his way for Mario RPG remake.
I did it.
Piece of shit.
It was good too.
General Vague says Octopath Traveler 2, S tier music. Oh, that was going to be a given. S tier art style. That was going to be a given. A tier cute stories. The intermingling of battle mechanics gives you so many fun options. Top 3 games I've played. S tier. Damn, General Vague going hard.
No,
is it better than the first one? Because the first one, in my opinion, is an A tier. So is Octopath Traveler 2 up the ante? Oh, he says it's way better than the first in every way.
I hear nothing but good things about that game. Honestly, I want to get into Octopath, but I know that I won't like it. It's just, I don't know what it's just like, how do I explain? I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I just know that I won't appreciate it the way that it deserves to be appreciated. So shout out to y'all that are into that, but because I really do like the art style.
Yeah, I really the first one has been on my to playlist for a while, and I just never got around to it. So I don't. This looks like the type of game I would enjoy. I just hasn't happened yet.
It's 90 hours of core story gameplay. General Vague, you are selling me on this. Like I'm an RPG slut. Like, CS:GO is one of my games of the year. So, by all means, like, I'm just gonna take General Vague's word for it, and we'll throw in the S. General Vague, you've earned it. You come here every stream and drop knowledge. You get Octopath Traveler 2 in S tier, which I probably can't say the same about for Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, fucking it sucks.
I don't think I watched Cass play it. I watched Hypno play it. I'm waiting for the PC port, which is why I haven't played it yet, because I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy 16. I do not think it deserves the shit it's been getting based on what I've seen about it. But Cass, you actually played it. Let's get your take.
Here's the thing. When they showed this game off, they showed off all the good parts. They didn't show you the downtime of this game.
Yeah.
The only thing I can compare the downtime to of this game is like MMO side content. Like that's literally the level of bullshit that's main story stuff to this game. It's so disappointing because when you get to like the monster battles, they're really, really fucking awesome, bombastic. I think that it could have been a good game, but at the same time, there's so many stupid decisions that it's so painful. The one positive that I think is S tier about Final Fantasy 16 is the music. I think it won for best music.
Yeah, that's going to be a given as well. I swear, always kills it with the music.
It deserves it. The music is insane for this game, but everything else, it just slides off a fucking cliff. It's so fucking disappointing. It is the game I was most hyped about, and I hate it. So it is what it is.
Where does that leave you on the like if you were to, because being as this was, because I remember you've been hyping this game up literally since I met you, and it's been like about a year. And so for this game to be as big of a letdown as it is, can you objectively look at it and be like, while it's my biggest letdown and I want to put it in Anita Sarkeesian, it's actually a C. Like, where would you put this if you had to take your hype out of it?
I think that it is like, it's between like a C and a D, honestly.
Really?
And even the monster battles, it's like some of them are really good, don't get me wrong, but it's also a lot of QTE shit as well. So it looks super bombastic. He finished Final
Fantasy 16. He enjoyed it, but disappointed me in a fantasy game. Jim Harrison says A tier. This is a mixed bag. Hypno probably would also say A or B tier.
Was this the Final Fantasy where they switched the gameplay style completely?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's where I see like most of the discourse, like hardcore Final Fantasy fans, like found an issue with them switching the gameplay, but it looks like more modern gamers appreciate that.
It's more like Devil May Cry.
I like.
I will say from watching people play it,
it's not
watching Hypno play it.
It's a shitty version of it.
That motion blur was bad. That motion blur was rough.
It's like, hey, we want to make a game that looks like Devil May Cry, but is for stupid people. That's what the gameplay is. I'm sad to have to say that, but it just
we want to make a game that's like Devil May Cry for stupid people. Let's make Devil May Cry 2. But Final Fantasy. Like,
hold on. Devil May Cry 2 is still it's not great.
No,
we're not doing this, girl. This is where the bus stops.
I love Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 2.
That's where the bus stops.
Look, I hate DMC Devil May Cry, but I will play that again before I even touch Devil May Cry 2.
The remake of it wasn't that bad. I think if you could separate
from
a
gameplay perspective,
the gameplay was
good.
A blast, but it shit all over the established fan base.
Oh, it did, but like I was okay with a different take.
Like
in all honesty, that gameplay was so fucking smooth. I had a lot of fun with it. I liked the different take, even
that's the only reason why I could play it.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Devil May Cry fan, and I still can appreciate that.
My girl,
in all honesty, so
yeah.
I haven't.
All agreed.
You love it so much. You're even trying to enjoy Devil May Cry 2. I could appreciate the attempt, but the same.
Listen, that's how deep my love is for Devil May Cry. Is that I even enjoy Devil May Cry 2.
Hell yeah, Dante.
James Hurley,
Dante's
DMC was a car crash. It's a DMC game, but as its own thing, it's fine. Yeah, Emo Dante. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, Vex. I like it as a game, but man, again, DMC 3 will always be the best. That to me is Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 3 is hands down the
Devil
best.
May Cry, yes.
Yeah.
But 5 is really, really good. I think 5 is my second favorite.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, 5 is dope.
But we will throw Final Fantasy 16. What do you say? C or D? Where's it going?
D.
Since the chat is kind of divisive on it, like some people really like it, so give it a C.
Give it a C.
Personally, I think it's a D. But some people are saying A tier, and I think it's fair to acknowledge them. So.
All right, I agree, Eddie. DMC 3 is peak. DMC reboot. You had to fight a new cast person who was a parody of Bill O'Reilly. Man says B, CLS says C. But we're going to move on from Devil May Cry and talk about another equally as amazing franchise. We can go back to Sonic Superstars.
Where the fuck is Mario in this list?
Mario Wonder and Mario RPG are on here. They should be.
Okay.
Unless things didn't transfer over.
I don't see RPG, but I see Wonder.
Okay.
Damn, maybe the PNG didn't pull up. I'll try and fix that real quick while we talk about Sonic Origins. Mm-hmm. So, who besides me played that?
Nope.
Because apparently I also missed Mortal Kombat 1 and didn't realize that.
For good reason, though.
we'll talk about leaving it. Anyway, Sonic Origins, I loved it. I think it's a B. I do. I think Sonic Origins is just a fantastic time for a 2D platformer multiplayer.
Yeah.
This game is so divisive. I don't know what to make of it as someone who hasn't played it. Some people love it or hate it. I don't know. I don't understand, You would think it'd be so easy to determine a good Sonic game from a bad one.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people, like even my boy TJ, he hates it, and he's a Sonic dude. He doesn't like it. He says that
has he said why, out of curiosity?
He says that the sense of speed is just off about it. So
I didn't get that vibe at all. I thought the game felt incredibly fast, like for a 2D Sonic game. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to get his words, like but he just wasn't liking the way the game felt, and I know that's something that's really important when it comes to Sonic. So it's weird because it's like people that I trust in terms of their general like thought process when it comes to games. Some of them love it, some of them hate it. It's kind of wild. So
I felt bad for it.
Check it out
because it came like it came out, and then Wonder came out like literally right after. Like, well, that's over.
Yeah, Mario Wonder killed Sonic Origins sales.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. What are these guys? I see it is. Game Journos. Is that the one with Dr. Eggwad? Mid-game. The biggest surprise games for me was Dead Island 2 and Avatar Frontiers Pandora. Both on this list, so we'll get to them. GTA 6. Jim. All right. So as far as Sonic Origins goes, like this game, there was no one really asking for it. But when a game comes out that no one's asking for and it still manages to be like talked about, because there was a lot of individuals talking about it, like for better or worse, this game did get a lot of hype, especially a lot of comparisons to Mario Wonder. It was notably harder than I thought. Like I played this as played the main story. And I was like, all right, I breezed through it. It was super easy. I was actually a little bit disappointed, but then when you beat the game, you unlock a hidden character, and you play through the hidden character's story, and the difficulty fucking spiked. And I was like, oh, so we're going OG Genesis with this hidden character.
Who's the hidden character?
It's a new character. I don't remember the name. I'd have to look her name back up again. But so it was a new entry to the franchise. But dude, her gameplay was like legit old school Sega Genesis era Sonic gameplay, and I was all on board. I mean, again, I think this game is an easy B tier. I will say I played on multiplayer, and unless you're both skilled players, you're going to have a problem because fast-paced multiplayers like this, where if you get too far ahead, it tries and teleports the second player to where you are. And if you're both good at the game, I can see it being awesome. When you're playing with people who are not good at Sonic games, then they're going to have a rough time. The special stages were a blast. It was just a love letter to Sonic the Hedgehog with a nifty new original story that added to the lore. Yeah. Yes, Sonic games are peaks and valleys.
You're not lying.
Tails is not a goddamn tranny, Jim.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I want to play it to come up with my own opinion on it. But
yeah.
I don't think it's a B tier, man. I really haven't heard nobody talk about it at all. I think you're the only person that's like hyped it.
No, but that means you haven't heard people say anything bad about it.
I've heard a lot of bad about it.
But you just said you haven't heard anyone talking about it.
Because it sucked. Because it sucked.
No, I'm going to push back on this. We live in the internet age. If something sucks, people talk about it for weeks on end. Not nobody talks about it. Like,
you're not. That is true, Oz.
Huh?
We're going to go with Diablo 4. Now, this game I don't think sucks, but I think was incredibly underwhelming.
I'm a huge fan of Diablo 2.
Because you're smart.
Yeah, didn't play 3 at all, but I was pretty hyped looking because when we got the first early footage of this one, I think it was last year or the year before, so I was kind of excited. I'm waiting for I guess it's on Game Pass, so I could try it there. But I was waiting for a price drop because it's still $80. But I haven't played, so I'm not going to make any judgments on it.
I played
Have you ever played World of Warcraft?
Bro, Warcraft 3 is a top game for me. I didn't like WoW though.
Okay, so if you don't like WoW, you won't like this. The Diablo 4 is WoW, but dark and gritty. Like, which don't get me wrong, I play WoW. I love WoW. I didn't want WoW as Diablo. I wanted Diablo because, like you, I love Diablo 2.
Yeah.
I was telling you about the drinking games channel I used to run. We played Diablo 3. I don't remember a lot of Diablo 3 because, again, drinking while playing it. But I must have been I remember I played a Necromancer, and that's about the only thing I remember about it.
Yeah.
But Diablo 4 was fun when I was playing it with Atreus and Hypno. Playing it solo, it was like World of Warcraft, but Diablo. Not what I wanted out of Diablo. What about you, Cass?
The thing is, I was enjoying the game, and then like they introduced like the first season content, and it's like, oh, this is dog shit. So I dropped it. And I hear now that season 2 is better, which is cool, but they fucked up so bad and did not like read the room at all. It's crazy that a lot of people that play Path of Exile have gone into detail in explaining why Path of Exile made by this little hole-in-the-wall developer is so much better than a game made by one of the biggest, if not the biggest publisher in gaming. So from that perspective, it's pathetic. I hear that it's turning around, which is good. See, Zeno.
Catch you later, Zeno. Appreciate you for dropping by, bud. You're the man with a plan. Love you. Thank you for the super chat, bro.
And just Diablo 4 is just it's just weird. Like, it's like there's really cool things about it. It's cool that I made it like a fucking dead Alice Cooper and was running through the game as him, which was like the big thing for me. And I really love the visual aesthetic. The art style is awesome. I love that dark tone, especially from Diablo 3, because Diablo 3 is like too cartoony. So from that perspective, it was really cool. The gameplay.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, the gameplay was fun for what it was. I mean, it's simple. It's Diablo. I think maybe he played it too safe though. That's definitely I think the biggest issue.
Yeah. I would put Diablo in C tier personally, but if anyone wants to make an argument for anything, you think that's about right?
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially with like there's good things about it, then some really off-putting things about it.
Is there a transgender class or anything like that?
No, there's nothing like that, thankfully. So it's got Baldur's Gate in that regard. All right, Sea of Stars. You show some indie games some love here. I fucking loved Sea of Stars.
I don't like it.
You don't like RPG. you don't. Sea of Stars, literally, it transported me back to the days when I would play Super Nintendo or PS1 RPGs. Like it does not do anything extraordinary in terms of anything new or whatnot. It says, hey, you remember these games you used to like?
Yeah.
Here's one in the modern age, and it is so fucking refreshing.
The art was really good, though. I like the art.
Oh, the art is so good.
I love pixel art. I'm a sucker.
I like
for
the
pixel art.
Yeah,
pixel art too. I saw that James Hurley says Sea of Stars move the completionist. I think that's such a fucking bitch move for them to do. Like, I get it. Yeah, the
Why did they
completionist
do
going
that?
through his legal drama or whatever.
Yeah, that's
but
weird. They
that's
removed
fucking
that?
retarded. No one's gonna be like, no one's gonna give a fuck. It's not like the dude went out and raped kids or something like that. He may or may not have not donated some fucking money. I don't know. Don't care.
Hold on. Why did they remove it?
So
Because go for it, Cass.
With the completionist, apparently he was raising money for years. Like we're talking like 7 years towards dementia research. And for like over, at least over 6 years, that money was sitting in like a collection fund. And we can't even get a complete answer if everything that he guaranteed was being donated got donated. The only reason why that money is no longer sitting in a fund is because Mudahar called him out. Some ordinary gamers called him out for it. And so it's been a huge controversy, and people still can't. I don't know if he's since clarified the money that he's gotten from super chats that he said would be donated as well. Ended up being donated. So honestly, it's so much to it. And then the way he kind of said, like, pretty much like at this point, well, fuck off. And it's like, if people didn't call you out for this, the money would still be sitting in a fund after all these years. There's really no excuse
it's
for
looking like
your
charity
stupidity.
fraud, basically.
Did he explain why it was sitting in a fund though? All that time was it collecting?
His claim was that they had not found a charity that they thought was worth all that money up to that point. They were still actively searching dementia charities that they felt comfortable funding, which, bro, it's been 6 years. I had heard it was closer to 10 years because his dad started it first with his dad's company. So if you count what his dad was putting into it, it's been about 10 years.
So he didn't spend it. Why does it?
So the reason that people are being upset about it, and is because even though he didn't spend it, he claims he didn't spend any of it. The value of the money has depreciated because of inflation and whatnot. Plus, he had promised people he had said the charities that he was working with. He had actually named charities he was working with, and apparently never worked with them, or if he did, he never sent them any of the money that his fans had sent him to send that money or whatnot. So it's stuff like that. And like it so far, yes, it is looking like charity fraud. However, him having a sprite in the game is not going to keep people from fucking buying this game. No one's going to be looking at him like, what? You've got this YouTuber who didn't send money to charity? I'm not going to buy this whole game based on this.
Also
NPC.
Worth noting probably the amount of research that ended that could have been fruitful towards dementia that probably could have been continued if he had donated this money earlier. So there's that as well. But
okay, so question: what does removing a completionist achievement?
I think that it's a dickhead move to have even put him in the game to begin with. As a YouTuber, putting YouTubers in video games is corny as fuck, and I would never want myself to be in a video game.
Was it?
The completionist, the completionist himself has an NPC in Sea of Stars, and the developers are removing his NPC side quest thing, because
that's stupid. You put it in there, just leave it in there. Acknowledge that hey, this guy did anything. It has nothing to do with our game, and be done with it. To go through all this.
Jim Harrison says he helped the studio out. So I mean, if he helped the studio out, then even more of a bitch move to remove him, in my opinion.
This is like those ex-girlfriends that broke up with a dude like 8 years ago, but they're still cutting out his picture from their best beach photos. Like this is so petty and so unnecessary.
I think the developers are being legit bitches. But again, I'm not taking the completion aside. In fact, I'm leaning towards people are being too forgiving towards him because even more information's come out these last few days that make it look even worse for him. But I'm not. I'm not well versed enough to talk about it at length, but basically, I'm not going to let the developers being bitches these last couple of weeks impact how much fun I had with Sea of Stars and how I think the people that if you love JRPGs from the early to mid 90s era, this game is gorgeous and you should absolutely play it.
This really is on my playlist still. Yeah, I love everything about this game. Like from what I've seen, it's just still I didn't have a chance to play it at release, and I still haven't had much time to game. So, it's on my list though.
And unfortunately, the stream's going to end in 20 minutes. We're going to have to speed around these last few. But Sea of Stars, where do you guys think that we're sitting with that one? Am I the only one that's played it? Because Cass, you played it, didn't you?
I played it. It's a really good game. I think it's an A, though. My
you think
two criticisms.
I was going to go B, but if you think it's A, then...
So there's two criticisms for me that keep it from being S, in my opinion. And that is, one, that the main characters, actually most of the characters are kind of on the bland side. I understand it's an RPG, but the two characters you're playing as have zero personality whatsoever. And that's problematic. There's only like one character that genuinely has any personality, and that's the cook dude.
Yeah, so he definitely had the most. I completely agree. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he has to be objectively. I don't think anybody else really even comes close, which is, I think, a shame. I think it's a missed opportunity.
To impart yourself on either the guy or the girl, I don't even remember their names. It's like Soul and something else. Either way, because, like you said, it's an RPG. You're supposed to impart yourself onto them, but yeah, the cook, he's
too bland.
So
crappy. Yeah,
no, I can agree.
And then the other serious complaint I have with this game is that in order to get the true ending, there's so much arbitrary shit you have to do, down to collectathon bullshit, that I think really fucks up the experience, because getting the true ending versus the not true ending is it sucks if you can't get it. And the shit that you have to do, you have to be downright autistic to go to those lengths to get the true ending.
See, I like aspects like that, but then I understand why because Resident Evil and Silent Hill did the exact same shit growing up. So like I've been raised to play playing games of that, but I get why I'd probably be the outlier in liking something like that. So all right, yeah, I think A tier's fair. Spider-Man 2. Now, a lot of people have been saying leading up to this that it needs to go in the Anita tier, and frankly, I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, I tend to agree. But Cass, I know you're a very objective individual. I want to hear your thoughts.
It's like, at heart, I want to throw this into the Anita tier, but at the same time, the game has good gameplay. Like, I can't sit here and say that there's not redeeming qualities of the game. The story does suck. I think that there's a lot of fucking woke shit in there, even like subliminal woke shit. But I think that the gameplay is really, really good. The swinging and like the combat, I think, is really overall super well done. So it's so hard for me to be, to say it's an Anita tier game. Honestly,
so we were talking earlier about, when we were using Dead Space, about how in certain games you can overlook it and others you can't. Like, just based on what I've watched, I would not be able to overlook it for this game personally. Like, it would tarnish. I don't care how good the gameplay is; it would genuinely tarnish my experience playing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, sour it.
Yeah, everyone I talked to is like, yeah, the gameplay is fucking mint, but like it was so overshadowed by all this political ideology bullshit that I don't like this game at all. So
yeah, no, I get that, and it is one of those where you can't overlook it. You just can't.
Especially because the first one is genuinely a good game. I really wanted to be on board for this one, but
yeah, no, I completely agree.
Spider-Man 3 is in development, though. Excited, guys?
You mean Miles Morales 3?
Yeah, to me, honestly, I have to give it like maybe a D. It's so disappointing that it's not a game that I could revisit again, but the gameplay is good that I have to at least give it that.
So, okay, looking at the Anita Sarkeesian tier, we have Forspoken and Payback 3. Would you genuinely say that Spider-Man is notably a better experience than playing Forspoken or Payday 3?
Yes. There's redeeming qualities for Spider-Man. I don't think that there is for Forspoken or Payday 3.
All right. I think that sells it then. We'll throw it in the D tier. I know chat's probably going to be real disappointed it's not Anita Sarkeesian, but we're here to be objective and not just do culture war bullshit. So, yep, D tier it is. Dead Island 2.
Didn't play
it. Didn't care.
I want to play it. I didn't get the
about this game when Dead Island came out, but they took way too fucking long. I just lost interest.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. It's
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I really love zombie games. The fact that I didn't get to this kind of makes me sad. But honestly, when things are Epic Game Store exclusive, I naturally just want to vomit. So There's nothing keeping the game from being on any other PC platform other than there's a bullshit ass deal. But this game
Dead
really
Island 2
did.
is the anti-Duke Nukem Forever. I'm gonna need you to explain what the hell this means, but go on.
Okay, I think I understand. Like, so people were super hyped for Duke Nukem Forever, and it turned out to be like super disappointing. Whereas I don't think anyone was hyped for Dead Island 2. Matter of fact, I think people were like really skeptical and thought it was gonna be dog shit. And then when it came out, and it's like, wow, this game actually looks good. It runs well. It was in development hell, and people thought there was no way the game was going to be good. And it actually turns out, damn, this game's actually pretty fun. And that's pretty much the general consensus surrounding it from people that have played it. So I will be picking this one up when I do get the opportunity to.
I like the zombie games too, but the first Dead Island was just so painfully mid for me. I found it way too repetitive. It wasn't very fun. So when I heard that this game was announced and that it was still in development hell for almost like 10 years, I was like,
yeah,
what's even the point? The appeal of that type of game is basically gone. Like there's no point in releasing this, and a sequel to Dead Island 1 wasn't necessary anyways. So I'm just
I mean, it's just fun gameplay from what I heard, which is what it is. It's like you don't look to Dead Island for story. That's not what it's about. It's
I'm just saying, like, because I compared Dead Island to like Left 4 Dead, for example, whereas like Left 4 Dead, you don't play that for the story. You play because it's generally a lot of fun. So for that's like peak zombie gameplay.
See, I was more comparing it to like Dead Rising.
Yeah, I would say it's on par with like Dead Island and Dead Rising.
I like Dead Rising 1 and 2 far more than Dead Island, personally.
Yeah.
But again, so Dead Island 2, would you say didn't play, or would you put in the B tier?
Didn't play.
I can't. I mean, unless chat thinks otherwise, I can't really say because I didn't play it, sadly.
We also
but
got
I do
like
really want to play
minutes to wrap this up, by the way.
Yeah. All right. We'll let the chat decide on that while we run into the next one, which is Street Fighter 6. I mean, A tier, I'd say.
Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to play this one, but I really do want to.
Play it. Me and fighting games, I can't get on board with them because I just don't have that amount of time to dedicate to them. But Street Fighter 6 looks dope, man. It's really cool. I love fun game characters. They're some of, I think, the best characters in all of gaming, and I think that Street Fighter definitely has some of the all-time greats, and even the new characters that they introduce, I think, are pretty cool. So
Street Fighter, I love that franchise. So
yeah, I gotta agree with Eddie. I gotta say S for Street Fighter.
All right, let's put it in S.
Alrighty.
I can see why.
No one is really saying anything about Dead Island, so we're just gonna throw it in didn't play. And now we're gonna talk about Resident Evil 4. I'm gonna do my best to not comment and just not take the rest of the stream.
I know this is an S tier for you, Leon. So
you've all heard my thoughts on it. If I have it my way, it'd be in the C tier, but I want to hear other people's thoughts.
I think it's a super competent game. I was genuinely impressed by running through a game and not encountering any problems, and the gameplay being the controls being really good. The game, I honestly, for a long time, I thought Leon kind of comes off like a little bitch, but I have to put some respect on Leon's name. I have to put some respect on Leon's name. I think that he's actually a really good protagonist in Resident Evil 4 Remake. I'm actually going to get back to live streaming that. I'm just dealing
with... Syphilis is better than 3 Remake, James. Sorry, continue.
I don't know. I think that's still a competently playing game as well, so...
You can't remake a PlayStation 1 game with less content than the original PlayStation 1 game!
I agree that that's a serious problem, no doubt. But honestly, Resident Evil 3 plays better than most AAA releases these days, at least from a control play perspective and visuals. Like, I have to at least give it that objective.
I know. Just chat is spamming. So we got Jim just saying S over and over. Vasinum says C. Gord King says B. Alex says S.
I think B is a good middle ground then.
Again, I feel like I just can't be objective. Man says S or A.
I think it's A, honestly. Yeah, I think it's a really awesome video game overall.
We'll go A tier. We will go A tier.
Stab in the heart there, Leon.
I know. But hey, I gotta try my best to be objective. A works. I'll give it A. But just know that if you play the original, you'll know why this. All right, this one is all for you, Vex. Story of Seasons.
I put this at an A tier. It's literally just like a port over, in all honesty, but the gameplay is very smooth. There's no issues. It's not a huge download. They've injected a little bit of identity politics into it, just because like there's, I go to the black dude and he gives me watermelon seeds, kind of deal.
Yo, son, that is insane.
I screenshotted it and put up just like, why the fuck are you giving me watermelon seeds? You're black. But it's just a lot of fun. It's a competent remaster. It's one that I am glad that they put out, because the original Story of Seasons only came out on the GameCube and the PS2. So it's like it's a near impossible game to find unless you have one of those consoles. So I'm gonna put it at A tier, especially since I'm not a huge Harvest Moon fan. So
see, I'm not either. That's why I'm not a Harvest Moon fan at all. But all right, did anyone play something Mars like
Nope.
I don't know what it is.
Fuck it. Tears of the Kingdom. Now, look, I don't know how anyone can say this is not an S tier. I'm gonna be real.
I think Zelda's dumb, so that's why I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know, but look, you're allowed to have a few bad takes now and again. You don't like Star Wars, you don't like Zelda.
Don't like Harry Potter.
I didn't even play it, and I can say objectively, without really needing much convincing, that it
looks good. Yeah,
it is a better game than Breath of the Wild on a fundamental level, which I think is super impressive, because Breath of the Wild is pretty insane in its own right.
So if you're a longtime Zelda fan, I get why Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom don't work for you. Obviously, I'm a massive Zelda fan. If you look behind me, I prefer traditional linear Zelda games. However, what these games do, I think, is I could not have asked for a better use of my Switch that wasn't Smash Bros. And Tears of the Kingdom, and we were talking about games coming out and being, perfect on release. Everyone was talking about some frame rate issues. I experienced such minimal frame rate issues, and everything else was so perfectly crafted on outdated hardware. I don't know. I think Tears of the Kingdom is an easy S tier. My second. It's the only game that has any sort of competition with Hi-Fi Rush in terms of the best game I played all year.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair.
The music is not memorable. It loses a whole tier over that. I completely disagree. But you and I will talk about the music at a later time since we got 8 minutes left. We can talk, but there's a conversation we had about the music. Mario Wonder.
Didn't play it.
I don't know if Oz, you still with us? Because this is all you, buddy. And if not, I didn't play it either. So yep.
So didn't play here.
To him, it's his favorite game. Like in a really, really long time. So
yeah,
Canoli says it's S, and Jim says it's S as well.
Perfect. All right, Canoli and Jim say S. By all means, we're throwing it in S, because I would love to see. I want to play. The only reason I haven't played Mario Wonder yet is because I've been doing replays of the old Zelda games to get to just refresh myself. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. I've watched a lot of Lofty playing. Yeah, and this game looks legitimately like a better Far Cry than Far Cry.
It just looks like a Far Cry copy and paste in a world that already wasn't interesting. So it's a don't play for me. Didn't play for me.
No, honestly, I hate Avatar movies, but the game was interesting because I think Avatar as a game is probably a better idea than the films.
Yeah,
and I'd say like I played it for about like 5 hours so far. I didn't pay full price for it, thankfully. I probably feel differently about it, but I think it's like it's a game that's like between like a C and a D.
It went 40% off today, by the way. 12 days.
It did. Wow. Do not buy Ubisoft games day one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they go on such steep discounts. It's not worth it. Yeah.
All right, let's throw this bitch in the C tier then. Cass, this one's all for you. This is It Wants to Be Jet Set Radio.
And it does it so well and introduces new mechanics.
Cyberpunk? Is that what it is? Cyberpunk?
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. So
yeah,
the music is amazing. The gameplay is awesome. Yes, it copies Jet Set Radio's gameplay, but adds new mechanics to it. I really love like
what is this game called again?
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. It's so crazy. It's like
it honestly looks awesome. I've not played it, but it looks so much fun.
If you're into Jet Set Radio, it's a must play. Like, it really is super fucking awesome. I adore it. I have so much fun playing this game, and it doesn't necessarily do anything super innovative. It's just like, this is a long forgotten like gameplay style that, you know, this game kind of resurfaced it, and which is really cool. And a lot of Jet Set fans are super we're missing out. And now finally Sega announced they're bringing back Jet Set Radio, which I think is awesome.
I would like to think long enough.
I know. I would like to think Bomber Cyberpunk has a hand in that, because right when this game was announced, it went viral because people have been dying for a Jet Set Radio game for so long. And
I think that my playlist. All right, this looks good.
Hell yeah. It's awesome, man. It's just if you're into good gameplay, if you're into good vibes, Bomber Cyberpunk is up there for sure.
See, a game like this, I feel like should probably be an easy A tier, because you don't have to do a lot to make it an easy A tier. Just do what Jet Set did, but make it modern quality of life. You got an A tier.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what it did. They killed it. So A tier is definitely fair.
Pizza Tower. I had never fucking heard of this until the Game Awards. Then after the Game Awards, it seemed like everyone was talking about it. What the fuck is Pizza Tower, and why does Cass love it?
Don't know.
It is the hardest platformer I think I've ever fucking played. It is super fast, and it's like you're playing a pizza dude that's collecting like fucking toppings for pizza from these worlds. And I love the art. It's like this mix of jank but fucking awesome and colorful, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just fucking awesome. It's awesome and super challenging if you're into platformers. I think that it definitely deserves praise. It has this craftsmanship that feels very personal to the creators of it. So
Dude had a vendetta against Domino's and was like, I'm making a fucking video game.
I guess so. And it kind of reminds me, like, the main character kind of reminds me of Wario a little bit. And maybe Wario Land gave it a little inspiration towards it. So I don't know for sure. I don't know the lore behind it. But I think it's a really fucking solid game. I'd say it's fun. At least a B tier game.
CLS says S tier. I've heard everyone sucking this game off. Like, do you genuinely think they could be worthy of an S tier?
Honestly, from like a indie game perspective, I think so. For me, I was getting my ass kicked in that game, so maybe I'm holding a little bit of resentment for that. But I mean, I think we had Sea of
Stars in A tier, and Sea of Stars I thought was the best indie game this year. Do you think that this is a better indie experience than Sea of Stars?
I think as a platformer, I think it's insane. So, honestly, I don't know. It's hard to range it. It's so, like, honestly, maybe I think I'm a little bit biased because, like, I love platformers, but I never take them that seriously. So maybe I said B. Maybe I'm kind of downplaying it, but I think it is, like, thinking about it, I think it's a great platformer. So
let's meet in the middle and call it A.
S can be, yeah, I think A is fair for sure. Like a strong case. I think a strong case could be made for S, but I think A is fair.
Okay.
All right, and last but not least, we got Mario RPG, but Oz still doesn't seem to be. Oz, you still with us?
Jim, you can get Pizza Tower on Steam. I think it's on the console.
Yeah, it says that it's a Steam release only so far. No
really.
Console. But Bomb Rush Cyberpunk just came to consoles. On December 5th. So
I think it'd be easy to run Pizza Tower on anything.
Yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to be a big game in all honesty. So I think you could competently run it on basically any computer.
Yeah.
Gord King says Mario RPG is an S, one of the best pure remakes ever made, one of the few games I bought full price and worth every penny. Dude, after hearing Mugen Lord talk about it, yep, Mario RPG, the last one. What do you think, buddy?
It's the best RPG game to come up this year.
So is that an S?
You hate RPGs, but you love Mario.
I do. But it got me to play it.
Okay, because
that's actually
Mario.
a pretty compelling argument. Like, I won't even lie. If someone hates RPGs and they actively like Mario RPG, I mean that is a compelling argument.
But the person that's talking about it also dick sucks Mario for a living.
Rightfully so.
See, exactly. You can't even deny it. It looks amazing. I'm about to start playing it soon, actually. I've just been so busy, but
we got 1 minute, by the way.
Yeah. So look, between like the only person I take game recommendations from more seriously than Cass is, or just as seriously at least, is Mugen Lord, and he sucked this game off. Angry Canadian says S tier. Cannoli says S. Yep.
I think it deserves it. It looks amazing.
We'll throw Mario RPG in the S tier, and boom, that is it. These are all the games of 2023 that matter.
Where's Wonder?
We got Mario Wonder. Yeah, also S tier.
Okay.
All right, and apparently Mortal Kombat 1 got left off the list, but
nobody
fuck
cares.
It, who cares? It's not Street Fighter 6. So
the Street Fighter gets S tier too.
It's Anita Sarkeesian. It is. Fuck that game.
Where's Street Fighter?
S.
It's S. You got everything you wanted pretty much, Oz. You're good.
All right, let's say our goodbyes.
I'm
Oz,
good.
I'm good. Where they can find you.
Oh.
I will drag his dead carcass along with me to this podcast.
You will always find Oz somewhere on Cassie's coattails. Cass, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Fuck your couch. Fucker.
Yes, Cult Classic Cage on YouTube, Twitter, and Kick. It was awesome being here discussing the games. I woke up to do this after a long night of work, so the fact that I did that says a lot, but thank you guys so much. It was fun hanging out with you guys.
Awesome. No, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. I love having you on because again,
Oz fucked off so bad.
You're awesome. And last but not least, we got Vex Electronica.
Vex Electronica basically on everything. Follow me on Twitter, my main channel, and then my gaming channel, which has been dead for a while, Vex Electronica Gaming. I post content there. I will be on an Aquaman review at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight on the first Aquaman movie. So you can come tune into that if you like. But thank you for having me. It's always great hanging with y'all.
No, thank you very much for doing it. And then, last but not least, you got me. Thank you for another episode of the CounterCast, a special episode. We don't do these very often, but I am looking forward to doing them more because every now and again, you don't want to just bitch and moan about the woke stuff. You want to just talk about what you enjoy when it comes to being a nerd. So if that's what you like, then you know you're going to get that on the CounterCast, as well as talking about the political lens of pop culture, because it is still a fight that we need to fight. Thank you to all the guests. They're incredible. If you like Vex, I'm going to be on that same Aquaman stream with her tonight on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel, so make sure you hop over there. It's in about 2 hours, and my God, come just to make my suffering watching this fucking movie worth it, because I watched it last night, and God, I defending it. Dude, so yeah, we're going to be doing Aquaman. It's going to be a good time. Also, since I did hit over 2,000 subscribers and my first year on YouTube last week, I'm going to be doing an anniversary special on January 8th. And in fact, Cult Classic Cage and Vex Electronica will be back for that, as well as Lotney Pixels, The Little Platoon, and a bunch of other guests that, have just been incredible inspirations to me as a creator for this last year. So come check out that. Don't forget about it. I do nerdy news videos every day. You guys know the drill. Make sure to subscribe, and thank you to everybody who commented, super chatted, the whole nine. I truly appreciate you, but we've got long and we need to get out of here. So remember, it's all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.